Live from the Tucson Arena, this is University of Arizona Hockey. It's time to drop the puck with Timothy Gasson, the voice of the Wildcats. So let's head to the action with Arizona Wildcats Hockey.
Welcome to the Tucson Arena, where the number 6 Arizona Wildcats will take on the Utah Utes. Hi everybody, I'm Timothy Gasson, and I'm joined with Tom Callahan. We'll bring you today's action between Arizona and Utah. And Tom, it was a complete domination yesterday by the Arizona Wildcats, a huge 10-1 victory over Utah. Now in the ACHA computer rankings, the amount of goals for and against really matter in the rankings, so that was a great showing for Arizona. But as they say, this game starts 0-0. Arizona has a brand new game today.
Tim, how many times, I don't care what sport, any sport, you and I have seen it, a team that gets beat one day has a chance to come back the next day, they bring it. And it's because either they were embarrassed or they needed more motivation to come out and play better. I don't know what else you could do after losing 10-1. If you don't come out with your best effort today, if you're Utah, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, Utah has always played well against the University of Arizona. They're on the road. They've got nothing to lose. They fell out of the top 25 last week by being swept by a very good UNLV squad, but they were in those games. They were competitive. I expect the Utah Utes to be competitive here today with the University of Arizona. But, you know, Arizona has to learn that killer instinct now. They're a very young team. They're in the stretch run of the season. They're thinking national tournament and going deep in the national tournament. What do we need to see out of this Wildcat squad to show that they're developing that killer instinct?
Well, Tim, they need to come out and jump on them right away. And a team, look, everybody throws a clunker out, and Utah had their clunker yesterday for sure. But this is a team that just fell out of the rankings. They're not going to be a pushover under normal circumstances, but you have to also know that now that you're number 6 and climbing, the crosshairs gets more and more focused on you as a hockey club. And that's something UofA is going to have to learn to deal with. The pressure, both before and during the game, that can exist on the bench, out there on the ice. That's something I want to see them develop, and that maturity. I know that's a word you and I have used throughout the season. But if they're going to put teams away, they have to stick to their game plan, and they have to assert their game plan. So being assertive today is number one for U of A.
The University of Arizona is such a young hockey team, a lot of talent, a lot of freshmen who get considerable playing time. You know, we talk about building depth in this run toward the playoffs. It's hard to build depth when you have to also deal with injuries. Every team has to deal with injuries. How does a young hockey team like the Arizona Wildcats deal not only with injuries, but trying to just get better as the competition gets stiffer and stiffer at the end of the regular season?
Well, part of it is depth and your depth of recruiting, and you get to see some of the younger kids and the job they're doing and how they're doing it. That's going to be important for U of A. But the system, for them to stick to the system and go out there and play it. And you know what? Sometimes, Tim, if you're a young kid, you might get out there, you blank, you panic a little bit. If you're well-trained and well-coached, you know where your lane is, where you're supposed to be, what to do. It's programmed up there, and you default to that. And so I think if the younger players who need to step up into these voids created by some of the injuries and other reasons, that's what these kids need to do, is they need to make sure they stick to that game plan first and foremost, because everybody on the ice being on the same page is going to lead to wins.
Well, Anthony Shuro, the stellar goaltender for Arizona, certainly is in playoff form. He had 55 minutes of shutout hockey again last night. Of course, he had a shutout against University of Central Oklahoma in his last game before that. And unfortunately, Tom, the shutout monster, the shutout curse, was brought by me during that game. There were 5 minutes to go, Tom. And I said, Tom Callahan right now is thinking, whatever it is, Tim, don't talk about the idea that there's a goose egg up on the board for Utah, because it's the same as saying that shutout word. And sure enough, Utah scored their own goal yesterday. But I think that one goal for Utah was important for them yesterday, because they ended the game doing something positive. Yeah, it's still 10-1, but boy, that's a lot better, I think, to their psyche than 10-0.
Well, especially coming at the end, as you mentioned. I mean, that's important for Utah. And boy, you talk about starts today. Both of these teams need to have a good start, because if Utah wants to convince not only U of A, but themselves that they're in this game from the get-go, they need to come out there and show that right from the opening puck drop. So trying to build off of that yesterday is going to be a huge key for Utah.
So Utah enters the game 9-11. Arizona now 22-6 and ranked number 6 in the ACHA. There's another exciting development for the University of Arizona that's going to come this week. This is going to be a very exciting week for University of Arizona hockey. But we can't have that on our mind now because there's a whole game to play against the Utah Utes. Now, Utah has given up a bunch of goals in the first game of a series so far this year and then come back to win the second game. You and I could talk about it till we're blue in the face, Tom. You've got young college hockey players. They have to have it in their mind that they have to come here for this game tonight. Okay, we're going to send it down to ice level for the introduction of our starting lineups. We'll have the national anthem, then we'll drop the puck between number 6 Arizona and the Utah Utes. You are watching University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey.
Today, your Wildcats take on the Utes from the University of Utah. Here's the starting lineup for the visiting Utes. Starting at left wing, number 18, Austin Tautfest. At right wing, number 20, Owen Liebernight. At the center position, number 23, Joey DiBenedetto. At left defense, number 8, David Barnes. At right defense, number 29, Brett Meyer. And in the nets today for the visiting Utes, number 32, Connor Monk. The head coach is Brett Huras. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for your Arizona Wildcats. Starting at left wing, number 15, Anthony Cusinelli. At right wing, number 12, Chris Westland. At the center position for your Cats, number 11, Bailey Marshall. At left defense, number 17, Ben Jones. At right defense, number 13, Matthew Hull. And in the nets tonight for your Wildcats, number 35, Nolan Bivelsick. The head coach of your Wildcats is Chad Berman. Your assistant coaches, Tati Hogan and Shane Fossell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, remove your hats and face the south goal for our national anthem, which is sung tonight by a local community singer and member of the University of Arizona Alumni Band, Becky Burnett.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And we're ready to drop the puck here at the Tucson Arena between the number 6 Arizona Wildcats and the Utes of Utah. I'm Timothy Gasson, joined by Tom Callahan as we get ready for the second of a two-game series. Arizona big 10-1 winners yesterday over these same Utah Utes. As we were saying in the pregame, Tom, Guess what? It's 0-0 on the scoreboard now. If Arizona's the better team, they need to prove it once again.
And Tim, again, the start for both of these teams, very key for me, and I'm very interested to see, honestly, what Utah's going to bring. I want to see what Utah has in the tank. What do they feel like they're made out of? They're going to show us a lot here, I think, in this opening 5 minutes. But again, the same can be said for Arizona, a team that absolutely needs to show that they can put teams away, sweep a weekend series. When you come off a big 10-1 win, you better handle that pushback that you know is coming.
Well, you know, Tom, we've talked about it both at the professional level and the college level, that the first 5 or 10 minutes of a game like this are so important. Arizona thinks if they can get up and get a couple goals in those first few minutes, they might just take that will to fight out of the Utah Utes. Well, that's what we're going to find out right now. The puck is down. We're just underway in the first period. Scoreless between number 6 Arizona and the Utah Utes. Anthony Cusinelli throws the puck down low. Arizona had a lot of shots on goal yesterday, Tom. 47-19 for Utah. If Utah can't generate more shots on goal, it could be another long day for them. As the puck goes behind Nolan Bivelsick, getting the start for Arizona. I like to call him our 1B goaltender, not really a backup for most ACHA teams. He would be the starting goaltender, fine goaltender, Nolan Bivelsick. He has a 2.21 goals against average. And Connor Mock, the freshman, will go for Utah. He finished the game yesterday, has a 6.46 goals against average, but hasn't played a whole lot. Just a freshman and a small goaltender, 5'11", 165 pounds. He's getting his opportunity. And win or lose, this is the thing for Utah, Tom. They get to give a lot of their younger players experience playing in the big arena on the road.
Well, and that is a big part of it for the Utes right now. Is you've just fallen out of the rankings. You're upset that you lost a big game. Maybe you have some injuries. You're dealing with some things, keeping guys out of the lineup. Okay, well, freshmen, sophomores, maybe you haven't played a lot or gotten a lot of chances. Well, now's your turn to shine.
Vale Artizone with the puck in the offensive zone, sends it on goal. Big rebound in front, but no Arizona stick is there to pick it up. But Arizona keeps it in the offensive zone. Artizone with the puck sends it down low to Justin Plumhoff. Digging for it there. The Cats comes back to Plumhoff. Out to Olsen, but now to Ute, who comes up ice. The Utes wearing their Montreal Canadiens style jersey. No, that's what they were yesterday. They're wearing their more traditional Utah Utes, just black jersey with the Utah U on the crest. So Arizona comes back over the line wearing their home gray jerseys. That's Jake Dickinson with the puck, but it goes out of play, and we'll have a whistle and a face-off in the Utah zone. Just underway here, about 2 minutes and 9 seconds into the first period. I don't think we have a feeling out process like we did perhaps in the first 5 minutes of that game yesterday. It could be Utah's waiting to see what Arizona's going to bring.
Well, Tim, I feel like right now if you're Arizona, you have to do 2 things to generate early success. It's get up on the forecheck, get in there quickly. And so far, Utah's actually done a nice job holding Arizona to just some perimeter chances. U of A's got to penetrate to the front of the net.
There's a chance going right into the slot for Arizona, but it's cleared out to Manny Rowe at the far blue line. He throws it down low. That's where Kyle Wade, who had a goal yesterday, who didn't have a goal for the Arizona Wildcats yesterday. This was good news for Arizona that, yes, their stars scored goals yesterday, but we've talked about how Arizona, if they're going to have a run deep in the tournament, they need to develop more secondary scoring. Well, they had it yesterday. We all know that when you get into playoff-style hockey, there's going to be games when your number 1 or number 2 guy gets shut down. You're going to have to find some goals elsewhere in that lineup.
And that's right, Tim, because the higher up you get, teams do get better at playing defense. They do get better at nullifying a big scorer or a big line, and that's something that Arizona may have to deal with. Hey, if they're going to take away your big guns, you better have somebody else there who's able to put the puck in the net.
Jake Dickinson headmans the puck up to Max Mayer over the blue line. He just sends it in on Connor Mock, who makes the save, and will have another faceoff. I think for Mock, a young goaltender, he needs to just calm down and see a little bit of rubber and get the sense of the speed of the game. He was thrown into a tough situation in the third period yesterday, Tom, and the pucks were just flying at him. Arizona knew we've got a freshman goaltender, the third goaltender of the day. That's when you want to test a new goaltender.
Now, and Tim, actually something interesting you and I were talking about here before we jumped on the air. It's a new rule this year. You can dress 3 goalies, play 3 goalies if you want, which Utah did yesterday. That's not something we're used to seeing.
No.
But you know what? To come right back with the freshman today and say, all right, kid, let's see what you can do, I think that's actually a nice vote of confidence from the coach. And you know what? For a guy like Mock to come in and maybe if he plays well here, show him a little something. Hey, that could bode well for his future.
Well, we've seen this a number of times, Tom, when you put a less experienced goaltender or a young goaltender in, sometimes the guys playing in front of him give you a little bit of extra because they want to protect that guy. They know that he's going to need a little bit more help. It can be an interesting psychological thing for a team, and that's what Utah's working with here. They need any kind of psychological edge that they can get. 10-1 losers yesterday to Arizona, but it's a 0-0 hockey game 4 minutes into the first period. Now, the first 10 minutes of yesterday's game was very evenly played, and then Arizona just seemed to explode. Anthony Cusinelli with the puck over the line. There was so much time and space for Arizona yesterday as Bailey Marshall keeps the puck in, and Chris Westland kept it in the far side, sending down low. Bailey Marshall going towards the slot there. Westland sends it out in front, but Cusinelli had already moved off his spot, and Utah comes back the other way.
You know, Tim, it's interesting. I was just about to comment on that, how while the game is fairly even, you can tell Arizona getting a few more chances and a few more better quality chances so far here in the early going. You can see the ice is tilted ever so slightly in favor of the Wildcats early on, and so as the game wears on, I'll be interested to see if that tilt becomes more pronounced.
Cats can have a little bit of difficulty breaking out of their own end sometimes, and there was like a 10, 15, 20-second segment there where Arizona had to go and chase the puck. They do now get it out to center ice, but not to anyone in particular. These are the kind of details and the kind of discipline that Coach Berman wants to see get cleaned up as we get later in the year, as Bailey Marshall blasts a shot wide. Cusinelli missed the puck, and here come the Utes, and they just send it down low. I think this is a good idea. Utah has to generate somehow more shots on goal, as there's a shot and a nice tip in front by Noah Beery.
But Tim, that pressure right there from Utah, and Beery was set up right on the doorstep for it. But again, I've noticed this Bivilsek doesn't have the communication that maybe Shuro normally has with his defenseman. He's missed a couple of passes that have resulted in icings in there, hesitating behind the net before feeding it to a defender who already had a forechecker on him. They got to do better moving the puck around, and I think that's part of Bivilsek not playing as much.
I think you're absolutely right. He does make the save there. We remain scoreless 5.5 minutes into the first period.
That's a big save, too.
That is a big save because with a team that's looking for any kind of confidence, you get a 1 or 2 goal lead, and suddenly it's the 7th game of the Stanley Cup, and you can win anything and anywhere.
And speaking as a goaltender, in my own experience, boy, you better erase your own mistakes.
Utah goes for a change, and Arizona picks it up behind their own net. Cats working on their breakout. Arizona loses the puck there, and sometimes you can see freshmen make freshman kind of plays, moving the puck when there isn't anyone really clearly open or an idea of where that puck is going. You know, we talk about, Tom, at this time of the year, and we're almost at that time of the year, where you can't be a freshman anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have graduated that first year, and the postseason is another season. And you have to have in place the skills needed for a run. That's where Arizona is at now. As another shot comes in on Bivilsek, he makes a sure-handed save. Good job there controlling that rebound and finding that puck.
And I also like that his defenseman kept, well, really there was only one player in that case that could have gotten to a rebound, but it gave Bivilsek enough time to pull it back in, hang on to it, get the face-off. So nice job by UofA all the way around.
Face-off to the left of Nolan Bivilsek. Won by Utah. They get it out to the point. They've already had more chances here in the first 6.5 minutes of the first period than they did perhaps at different stretches of the game yesterday. They come right back in over the line. Arizona not able to get the puck out of the zone. Keelan Ulnick with it. He chips it up the boards, and Jake Dickinson comes over the blue line. Dickinson's shot goes wide, and Ulnick digs for it in the near side corner.
And a penalty coming up here, Tim, but I was going to say good hustle by Di Benedetto getting back to make that a 2-on-2. Those are the kind of plays I was looking to see if Utah was going to make. A defeated team, a beaten team, does not back check like that. So the Utes have come to play today.
And Keelan Ulnick goes to the box for Arizona. Again, what's the great equalizer when perhaps you're playing a more skilled team that really walloped you the day before? Well, it's that man advantage. Utah gets the first power play of the game. We're 7:19 into the first period, and Utah has the man advantage. We'll wait for the call on Keelan Ulnick.
24, Keelan Ulnick. 2 minutes for roughing. Time of that penalty, 7 minutes, 19 seconds in the first period.
And that's not the kind of discipline that Coach Wehrman's going to be happy about. If you're the bigger, stronger, faster team, don't give your opponents a man advantage. But Utah goes on the power play. 1:42 left in it. They break out to center ice.
Now, Tim, that goes back to that discipline we talked about in the pregame, and now another penalty coming up.
U of A is going to be down 2 men as we have a delayed penalty. Now the whistle goes. Mock headed to the bench, and here's a prime opportunity for 127. It looks like the Utah Utes are going to have a 2-man advantage as Justin Plumhoff heads to the box. Exactly what the Arizona faithful were a little bit worried about after such a shellacking in one day. Do the Arizona Wildcats have their mind set together to play this game? Well, here's a prime opportunity for the Utah Utes.
Well, and 5-on-3 is big, Tim, for this team right now. So far, Utah, they've at least made smart plays. Maybe they haven't finished those plays, but they've been making smart plays to keep chances alive. So we'll see if they can do that here on the 5-on-3.
Puck squirts out to Nolan Bivelsick, and Bivs makes the save and will restart on the near side dot. 1:24 to go in the 2-man advantage for Utah.
So you've got an offensive zone rough and then a cross check called on a penalty kill, Tim. Boy, that's the kind of thing that either gives a coach gray hair or just removes it from his head entirely.
Well, that's the kind of stuff as Arizona is able to get the puck out of the zone. As I say, late in the close game, Tom, it makes my tummy hurt.
You reach for the Tums.
That's right.
There you go.
As playoff hockey and as national tournament hockey starts to come, my tummy starts to hurt earlier and earlier in close games. 45 seconds to go on the 2-man advantage. Can Arizona get it out? They've got their stick on it. This is where they need to get the puck out of the zone.
Look out.
Goes into the Arizona bench, and that's at least out of the zone. But this is something that young players especially, sometimes the puck is on their stick. They don't look to see if they have the time and space to make a play. They just let it go. Often that turns into a giveaway and a shot back on your own goaltender, especially when killing penalties. You better know where it is you're sending that puck.
Ellen, Tim, that's your teammates, too, have to let you know. It's just not you, the player, having the moment to take a look, but, you know, the guy who's 10 feet away from you has to say, look, take a look, get your head up. You got time. And if they're not telling you that, I mean, you know, you're trying to make a play as best you can.
That's right, or chip it or something. The puck almost kicked into the Arizona goal by an Arizona player, but it stays out. We remain scoreless. 22 seconds to go on the 2-man advantage. Arizona with just 3 defenders on the ice. Utah will be able to get closer and closer and closer to that goal. 10 seconds to go now on the 2-man advantage. Still scoreless. Can Arizona get that one defender back? As the puck tips wide. Arizona digs for it there. Ben Jones now back in the lineup last night and tonight. But we have a whistle.
I think that's LeBernite who's down in the crease, and boy, he got hit pretty hard from behind. And then, just for good measure, Bivelsick gave him a good whack trying to get him onto the way, but with him down, and he's all right. But, Tim, that's going to move the faceoff outside, and now it's back to 5-on-4, so that actually really helps U of A.
It really does. Arizona was able to kill off the first part of that 2-man advantage. Still 33 seconds to go on that second penalty, so a 1-man advantage. If Arizona can get out of this, that's a giant psychological lift for any team that can defeat the 2-man advantage. Arizona 33 seconds away from achieving that. And again, having a 2-man advantage and not doing anything with it can really backfire on a team.
A little overcautious, I thought, for the Utes there, Tim, watching them. They had the puck in some really nice shooting opportunities and passed off.
Yeah, you know, at some point, if you can see the goalie and you have a 2-man advantage, you need to shoot the puck. 15 seconds to go in the 1-man advantage for the Utes as they head up ice. Can Arizona, they come over with some speed, and there's a shot that goes high and wide. Bailey Marshall able to get it out to center ice, and the Utes have to clear the zone on a delayed offside, and that's it for the two-man advantage and the one-man advantage. Arizona kills it off, and now we can start talking about that referee clicker. At some point, that's going to even out, perhaps, in the man advantages. Utah already with several opportunities. Manny Rowe has the puck, sends it in, just kind of lopes it in on goal. Mock makes the save, and his defensemen are doing a much better job today of helping out the goaltender and clearing those pucks.
Well, and I'm sure that was something that was circled, highlighted, underlined, boldface type, italicized for this team today for Utah, is to take care of things in their own end, because clearly they did not yesterday. But that means for U of A, it's not enough to just get pucks through. Now you got to get pressure, you got to get the rebounds, you got to jam that net.
We're more than halfway home here, and the puck is given away right in the slot.
Oh, hit the net.
Vail Artizone misses the net there. That was a gift at the high slot there. Remains scoreless. Cats trying to get the puck back into the slot. This is something Arizona was able to get close to the goaltender yesterday and get goal scorers in those prime positions. But you got to hit the net.
But you got to make the goalie make a save one way or another.
Utah throws the puck wide, and it comes right back out to center ice. 8:45 to go in the first. We're still scoreless. And the longer it goes like this, the better it is for the Utah Utes. They were out of the game by the midway mark yesterday, but with 8:30 to go in the first period, we're all tied 1-1. We're all tied 0-0, excuse me.
Tim, you're fast forwarding the game a little bit
it
there,
was
but
we're looking for some scoring. We had so much of it yesterday.
well, and the other thing is too, again, back to the chances for U of A. I mean, you got to make a freshman goalie make a save, because you know what? Maybe one leaks through. Maybe he kicks out a big rebound. Put the puck somewhere in his gear or just around it, but it's got to be in that 6x4 foot rectangle.
Jake Dickinson throws it down behind the net, behind Mock. It comes out to Ute. Reed Hunter's able to send it to center ice, and Arizona sends it right back in. Justin Dungy. Back to Cam Armstrong, who sends a long shot. I don't think Mock saw, but it went wide. You know, and this is an afternoon game, a Sunday afternoon game. The crowd here is smaller than usual for University of Arizona Wildcat hockey. That's to Utah's advantage. It was a quick turnaround from last night's game. I don't think that's an advantage for either squad, but so far, as a Utah player breaks his stick, Andrew Urch has to go to the bench and get a new twig. So far, no advantage for either team. 7:24 to go in the first period. We're all at goose eggs.
And Tim may have a little bit to do with what I think has been a sluggish start by both sides.
Yeah.
I think there's been parts where you can clearly see neither team's really got it in gear yet, but to your point, I think that favors Utah more than it does favor U of A.
So we'll have a face-off on the near side dot. Won by Arizona. Manny Rose able to keep it in the zone briefly, but here comes Utah right back. Back to Manny Rowe. Headmans it. That's going to be an ice on Arizona, and we'll head back in front of Nolan Bivelsick. 7:10 to go in the first. Coach Weirman cannot be happy so far, I think, with the intensity of his squad.
Well, or lack thereof, I think is really the first team that finds that, Tim. And I don't know if that might be a second period thing at the way things are going right now. Like Utah certainly didn't find it off a 5-on-3 kill, but normally if a team, power play, but if a team kills a 5-on-3, well, a lot of times you see the momentum kick right down that bench for the team that kills it off and get them ignited. That didn't happen either.
Yeah, there was definitely an ignition switch about 10 minutes into the game yesterday. But as we said, you can score 10 goals on a team one day, and you have to start over again the next day. This is something I think it might be difficult, especially for young hockey players to understand. As icing is waved off there, and Ben Fury digs for it for Arizona. Hockey's all about want, isn't it, Tom? And whichever team here shows a little bit more want is going to have some more opportunities as Kevin Bird touches the puck. I think it's going to be touched with a high stick there.
Well, and if U of A is sitting back and thinking, well, guys, we scored 10 yesterday, this is going to come easy.
Yeah.
No, it's not. They definitely have some work to do out there. They got to generate more
chances, but also follow those chances up. It's not enough just to get the initial shot. You got to score that little 5-foot area around the net, shovel the garbage into the pail, and make it happen.
Yeah, it's those greasy goals, those garbage goals that really seems to ignite Arizona. They know they can make pretty plays and pretty goals, but you can't get those other kinds of goals without great effort. Get into those high effort areas where you're going to pay a price to get in front of the goaltender. There's a reason why they get the bench excited, because they're difficult to score. So we're waiting to see which team here comes away with winning the want.
And a lot of times, Tim, for those pretty goals to occur, someone else has to have made a mistake.
Absolutely right.
And so if Utah is limiting their mistakes, well, you've got to find other ways to score, and it's effort.
Marshall over to Bailey Marshall, rather. He gets the puck in front. Boy, he scored one of the most beautiful goals in recent history as he gets the puck back on net on Mock yesterday. Bailey Marshall, leading scorer for the Arizona Wildcats, so dangerous as Hull keeps the puck in the zone. Cusinelli backs off as he's just not able to keep that puck in. But the number one line out for Arizona as they come over the line again. Can they get that puck in deep? Get one of their snipers an opportunity as the puck is kicked out to the far side. Just bounces away from Cam Armstrong, from Anthony Cusinelli, and here comes the Utes. Weak backhander in on Bivosic. He just shovels it off to the near side. Pace of the game picking up here a little bit here in the last 5 minutes. 4:45 to go in the first period. We're scoreless between Utah and Arizona. But Arizona's showing some signs of cleaning their spark plugs out a little bit. Big rebound off of Mock there, but no Arizona stick near the puck. And here's
another unnecessary penalty.
Here's going to be a penalty on Arizona and a hit right after that. I'd have to see the replay of that, Tom, but I think you could almost bring both players there, a little bit of an embellishment there. But the Utah player went down, and it was called another power play opportunity for the Utah Utes.
Part of it is, Tim, as much as I hate to say it this way, but, you're responsible for your own stick. And if you're trying to put the stick into a guy's legs and trip him up a little bit, well, if you trip him up a lot and he goes down, you're still going to be shorthanded.
2 minutes for tripping. Time of that penalty, 15:33 in the first period.
What you're saying is that Vail Artizoni got his full 2 minutes worth out of that.
Well, and these are penalties right now, Tim, like hooking, holding, those kind of penalties, tripping. Those are penalties where you've got to move your feet, keep up with your guy, and check him properly. And so that's not happening yet. But for both sides, as we mentioned, this is a bit of a slow start.
Another shot that ricochets wide. Now, as you said, and this is one of the sins of the Utah Utes yesterday, they didn't move their feet well. And Arizona did. Arizona was just starting to come on there a little bit, but they go back to the box. Great equalizer for a team like Utah as the puck doesn't get through, just goes wide there. 1:10 to go on the man advantage again for Utah. 3:30 to go in the first period as the puck does not exit the zone. Now it comes to Bailey Marshall. Will he hold it? He does. Sends it out to his brother, Dawson Marshall. Just going to rag it. Try to get it deep. Try to pin it. Good job by Dawson Marshall, just a freshman. 45 seconds to go on the man advantage as Dawson heads to the bench. Not a lot of opportunity there for Utah as with the man advantage, they are offside. 36 seconds to go on the man advantage. 3:02 to go in the first period. We're still scoreless. And we got a little pushing and shoving there between David Barnes, who was tossed at the end of yesterday's game for giving a stick to Anthony Shuro, and then a Wildcat came to his goaltender's defense. Barnes has a little pushing match there and heads to the bench. Yeah, Utah showed they were testy at the end of the game, and that's a good sign for any hockey team. You don't want to go down 10-1 and then act like you don't care. Utah scored a goal in the last 5 minutes and was very testy about it.
Well, right now, Tim, UofA is doing a nice job collapsing the box at the right time, taking away the front of the net. Utah's going to have to find some other shooting angles. That was a good shot selection right there.
Yeah, and forced a good pad save there by Bivosic. Goes to the near side corner. 10 seconds to go on the power play.
Boy, there's nothing for that high point man. Nice job with the box by UofA.
That'll do it for the man advantage. Vale Artizone comes back onto the ice. Puck still in the offensive zone, though, for Utah. They send it down low. The puck is up in the air. Bivelsek makes a nice save there. And we got some more pushing and shoving in front of the net.
Boy, Bivelsek's not afraid to use the stick.
You know, goaltenders, this is my crease. Get the heck out of here.
I do know that.
You don't want anyone standing in front of you. That's just not a polite thing to do.
And Tim, for some of the old codgers out there like me who played back when the pads were actually leather and the sticks were made of wood, I'll tell you what, there was something to be said for having that heavy wood stick.
Yeah.
And being able to, you could move guys with
Chop
those.
some wood, chop some wood.
Now you've got these light one-piece or two-piece, sometimes graphite Kevlar. I mean, they're quick to move around. It's probably easier to handle the puck, but it just doesn't make, shall we say, as much of an impact on opposing players.
Yeah, those old, like, all-wood Sherwood sticks, you could...
UofA shorthanded again? Oh, 4-on-4.
Roughing, Wildcat penalty on number 17, Ben Jones. 2 minutes for roughing. Both penalties at 17 minutes, 43 seconds of the first period.
So some of that extracurricular stuff after the whistle means a couple guys are tossed, and we'll skate 4-on-4 for the next 1:35. The puck comes in on Mock. He doesn't control that puck very well. If Arizona can just get some good rubber on Mock, he doesn't look all that confident in net, but he's got a big 0 up on the board. We're 0-0 here with just 1:35 to go in the first period, and that's what counts.
Positionally, he's been good, Tim, but he has not really shown much rebound control. Maybe 4-on-4 will open up a bit.
There's another good save by Bivelsek, and the puck goes wide. Great opportunity for Utah there. We're skating 4-on-4 for another minute. Probably the best opportunity of the game so far for the Utah Utes.
Honestly, I feel like Bivelsek has had to be the better of the two goalies so far.
Well, he has, and I think Utah's had a better first period than Arizona, especially after you consider yesterday's game.
1 minute left in the first period.
Last minute of play in the first, we're tied up 0-0. As the puck comes back to Utah, and Owen Liebernight tries to headman it. Arizona comes away with it, though. Briefly, Marshall digging for it. Marshall gets his stick on it again, pokes it away. Manny Rowe tries to activate. Cusinelli sends it up forward to him. Can Rowe get the puck? Lays some muscle. But Utah comes away with it. Utah's defensemen didn't play well when they were pressured yesterday. They made some mistakes with the puck on their stick in their own end. But so far, we're scoreless down to the last 10 seconds of the first period. Manny Rowe just sends it up now to the final 5 seconds. Cusinelli with the puck. Vale Artizone with it. He shoots, he scores! Vale Artizone goes top shelf. 0.8 seconds to go in the first period. Vale Artizone, the freshman, took a beautiful pass from Anthony Cusinelli and just shelves that one. Arizona takes a 1-0 lead.
Well, Tim, two things right there that really helped Artizone coming down the right side. He still had a defender to deal with, but when Cusinelli left him the puck at the line, he also spun around and kind of acted as a pick on that first forward who could have come over and poked the puck off his stick. That bought some time for Artizone down the right wing, and he buried it. He had all kinds of daylight over the left shoulder of Mock, and he hit it.
Boy, we talk about how a 1 second can make a difference in ice hockey. Well, guess what? When you score a goal with 0.8 seconds to go in a period, that's a psychological dagger to a hockey team.
We'll give it to number 5, Vale Artizone. The assist goes number 15, Anthony Cusinelli, and number 20, Manny Rowe. That's Artizone. From Cusinelli and Rowe, time of your Wildcat goal, 19 minutes, 59 seconds in the first period.
You know, Tom, we talk about the psychological damage of giving up a goal. Oh, just
Arizona with 6. The score after 1 complete period of play here at the Tucson Convention Center.
We talk about the psychological damage of giving up a goal in the last 5 minutes of a period, the last 1 minute of a period, the last second of a period, after you had the better of the chances, Utah goes into the locker room down 1-0. They actually have to, I think, feel pretty good about that period, but giving up a goal in the last second, that's got to be something that is really hard to stomach.
Well, and I talked about Mock's positioning. It had been pretty good till that point, but Tim, that's a freshman mistake right there. You have to know, with 5 seconds left, it's a 90% chance the guy with the puck's going to shoot it. And so you can be a little more aggressive. You can come out a little bit more to try to make that play, and he didn't. He stayed back in his net, and he gave up a lot of room over the left shoulder because he was thinking pass. But with that much time, it's the exact opposite. The shooter's going to shoot that puck coming in at that point. That's exactly what Ardizoni did, and he buried it.
He did bury it with 0.8 seconds to go in the period. So at the end of one period of play, it's number 6 Arizona 1, the Utah Utes 0. Again, just a 1-goal lead. So this game is far from being decided. And actually, I got to believe there's going to be no one in the Arizona locker room happy with how they played that first period of play. But both teams now, I think, are warmed up, and we're going to see what they really can do here in the second period of play. I'm Timothy Gasson, along with Tom Callahan. We'll be back for that second period of play after this selection of University of Arizona highlights and interviews in our video package. So stay tuned for that, because you are watching University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey.
Wildcat Hockey is back home. Save up to 20% with UofA Hockey's new Flex Pack options, with access of up to 12 UA games this season.
Your Arizona Wildcats.
Don't miss out. Flex Pack tickets are available at TCC box office or call in 791-4101. That's 791-4101. Supporting a UA hockey team just got easier with our new Flex Pack ticket plans. For more information, please visit ArizonaWildcatHockey.org.
Now Tom's going to have a chance to visit with the head coach of the University of Arizona Wildcats, Chad Berman. So Tom, take it away.
Joined right now by Chad Berman, talking a little UofA hockey right now. And Chad, you're at a point in the season here. You're really into the stretch run. Playoffs are looming here. Talk to us about where you feel your team's at right now.
We're down a couple numbers, so we're gonna adjust for that as we go. So there'll be some different combinations, especially on the back end. But when you take like a month off for holiday break, and I think it's important they get that, but it really becomes 2 different seasons. So for us, it's a reset. We kind of had to clean up on some of the details. We had to go through some struggles last weekend against Grand Canyon, and that's why you schedule those games to get ready for this one. Very good opponent coming in, very fast. Somebody we've been looking forward to playing for a long time here.
Well, last weekend was really Jekyll and Hyde for you guys. I mean, first night Grand Canyon comes out with a win. Second night, I mean, it was all UofA all the time.
Yeah, we didn't compete Friday, and for whatever reason we didn't. We paid for it a bit Monday, but the lesson here is that we're programmed trying to go from good to great, and that means it's got to be every single day.
Talk, if you will, at this point of the season, I imagine, well, your team's more of a known commodity at this point. Any guys who maybe surprised you or guys who have really stepped up?
Not particularly. I mean, I think a lot of people are noticing Chero finally, but we knew what we had even last year, and we knew that with more consistent play this year, he'd thrive, and he's been excellent. He certainly can cover up a lot, especially with some of the shortcomings we maybe have on D with some bodies out. I think we've excelled because of our culture. We got a group in there that shows up to the rink expecting to win, that's willing to put in the work, that wants to win, that wants to succeed, that wants to do the extra details. So I think it took this long to get that far, so it's a pleasant surprise that we're at this point, and certainly a lot more fun to come to work.
Not only, I mean, your goaltending has been good this year, and so as you're rounding into form here, a very good UNLV team this weekend, but even beyond that, down the stretch run, what is the focus for this team?
Yeah, I would say this next 5-game stretch is probably the biggest 5 games I've had since I've been here. UNLV is a very fast, very very skilled team. We want to finish our hits. We want to make sure to take that time and space away. We spent a lot of time this week in clogging up the neutral zone, and we think that can be critical to creating our transition game and throwing our speed back at them. It should be exciting. And then obviously next weekend, I think Oklahoma. Last time we saw them, they took it to us pretty good, and that's the only Division I team to put up 4 or more goals. So we're looking forward to that opportunity. And if we could take care of business there, we've got a chance to play for a conference championship here at home, and so a heck of a lot to look forward to.
Well, that seems like the schedule kind of lines up perfect for you. If you need a motivation, it's right there in front of you.
Yeah, well, I don't think we need motivation. I mean, somebody said to me, how do you handle the pressure being a top 10? Geez, I've been here when we were, knew we were out of the tournament this time, and I'll take pressure all day. It's exciting to come to the rink. It's exciting to watch scores now, and we've earned the right to do that. Now it's about us. At the end of the day, it's about us. We want to be heavy on the forecheck, make sure we're supporting the puck all over the ice, and staying within our structure.
And just for a moment, the greater look at the program here, the big picture, if you will. This is a program that now, hey, you're not out of the tournament. You are competing right now to try to host that on home ice. I mean, talk about what that means just for the growth of hockey here.
Yeah, I think, when you get to that tournament, at the end of the day, I've always felt like the ranking doesn't mean a ton. I mean, I think you want to get home ice if you can, so you can get that last change. But you never know who you're going to match up against. It's really about how you're playing going into that. But from a budget standpoint of getting that extra day off, I think that matters. I'll give you a great example. Last year, I've heard a lot of people say, well, Illinois in the national championship game lost 8-1 to Adrian. Everybody's like, oh, how did Illinois even make it that far? What people don't understand is the national champions are typically the top 5 team because they get that extra day off. And what you saw there was Illinois is playing great hockey, but it was taxing on them to play that extra game that Adrian didn't. And that was the difference. So we want to make sure we're earning the right to get the last change, earning the right to get that extra day. And it's one day, one shift, one game at a time here. And obviously a big opportunity with number 13 in our building.
Chad, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I'm Timothy Gasson. They call me the AZ Puck Man. I've been following hockey at the University of Arizona for more than 30 years. And this is my Wildcat Hockey Report.
Welcome to another Wildcat Hockey Report. Let's send it over to Victor Garcia with a very special video feature.
Thank you, Tim. I'm here with Anthony Cusinelli, captain of the UofA Hockey team. So, Anthony, we get to see you play out here on this ice from the stands. We get to see the action, you taking your shots for your goals, amazing stuff. Tell me, what is it like? What is the sensation of skating, feeling the ice beneath you? Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling. I mean, I'm kind of used to it by now. I've been skating since I was about 5 years old. I fell in love with the game when I was that young, and I still have the same feeling every time I skate.
And it must be a weird feeling knowing that there's other people on the ice. They all want the same thing. What is it like to know that there's other people out there trying to stop you from doing your thing out on the ice?
Yeah, it kind of seems like there's a lot of traffic at sometimes. You know, there's 5 guys on your team, 5 guys on their team, and you don't have much time to think. And when you get the puck, you got to make a quick decision, and you don't have as much time as you think when you get the puck, and you kind of have to think on your toes and know what you're doing before you get the puck.
With all that gear you have on, people don't know that you have a lot of those gloves going on, you have all those pads on you. How does it feel to feel that end of the stick with those thick gloves? Like, do you feel the puck when it comes to you?
Yeah, it's a different feeling. You know, you kind of try to keep your head up when you have the puck, but you can definitely feel every little stick handle. Whenever you have the puck, you can feel it. When you're about to shoot, I can feel the momentum in my hands moving, and yeah, you don't really realize how much that goes into it, but I feel everything when I'm out there.
You and a lot of other players take a lot of brutal punishment. What is it like to feel your face pressed against this gnarly glass?
Yeah, it's not fun for sure. You kind of get introduced to it when you're younger, so I think I was about 12 when I started getting hit more often, and I mean, you kind of learn how to take a hit, you learn how to give hits the right way, and it's definitely not fun to get hit or be tackled in the ASU games especially, but you kind of get used to it and it becomes just part of the game.
Any occasion where you think this is like the worst time you ever been tackled or taken down before?
Yeah, in juniors I got a couple of sticks to the face, lost my tooth, and broke my nose last game, but it's all part of the game.
What is the feeling of gliding on the ice? You feel like it looks like you're flying from the stands. What is that feeling of the speed, like pressing against your face, the wind going?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, you definitely feel the wind when you're skating fast, and hearing the fans and hearing the ice crack when you're taking your strides. It's definitely a cool feeling.
So hockey is a very full contact, violent sport. Tell me, how does a hockey player get that fear out of their mind? Because you can't play out on this ice with fear in your mind. How do you get that out?
Yeah, I think it's tough for sure. A lot of it's mental. It's a really big mental game, and when you're playing, you just got to try to control what you can control and put the fear in the back of your head, because you know you're going to get hit, you know you're going to get bumped, but as long as you can just focus on the game, you'll be fine.
So Anthony, while you're skating out here, tell me the feeling of it when everything comes together, when you feel that you might take a shot and you might score. What is that feeling like?
Yeah, I think there's certain times when you know you're going to score and when you know it's just a shot on net, but when I get the puck on my stick and I know it feels right and I know I have a good opportunity to score, it's an amazing feeling. And then especially when it turns out as planned and I score, it's an awesome feeling, especially here in front of our fans.
Yes, and there's another one off the stick and in the net. Arizona takes a 4-0 lead.
We've been speaking to Anthony Cusinelli, captain of the UofA Hockey team. That'll be it with the Wildcat Hockey Report. We'll see you on the ice at the Tucson Arena.
Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Tickets for Arizona hockey are now on sale. Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Call 791-4101 for tickets now.
Welcome back to the Tucson Arena, where we have one period in the books between number 6 Arizona and the Utah Utes. Arizona with a 1-0 lead. Hi everybody, I'm Timothy Gasson along with Tom Callahan. Delighted to have him back with Arizona hockey. And Tom, I think it's safe to say both coaching staffs probably want to see just a little bit more of everything from their squads for the second period.
Yeah, I think right now, especially if you're Coach Berman, you look at that goal you got at the end of the period, it's a little bit of a sigh of relief. But by the same token, you're saying to your guys, look, we need more push, more effort. We have to do more coming out here in period number 2 and put Utah away, which we talked about, Tim, in the pregame show. That is absolutely got to be at the top of the list here for U of A, because come tournament time, if you want to be a tournament team and a team that goes deep in a tournament, when you have those chances,
you got to put the other team away. The other thing for me, Tim, that's going to be key for U of A, discipline. They cannot take those undisciplined penalties and expect to stretch out a lead of any kind.
Yeah, you know, if we were expecting Arizona to score 3 or 4 quick goals and this game would be over in the first 5 minutes, well, that sure as heck did not happen. Instead, there was a parade to the penalty box by the Arizona Wildcats. You got to know that the coaching staff of Arizona, that was, you know, near the top of their list of what is so appealing about that penalty box. You know, we'll bring it over.
Are there snacks in
yes,
there?
We'll bring them over here on the bench and just, you know, you can have them over here. There's no need to go to the box. Maybe it smells good in there. I don't know. But
I'm going to guess that's not it.
that is absolutely not it. But whatever it is, you can't just expect that chances are going to even up because a referee wants to keep it pretty even in the penalties. You have to earn those power play opportunities. Utah had several of them and didn't cash in on any of them. Arizona scoring with just 0.8 seconds to go in the period, and that's why they have a 1-0 lead. But I don't think either team has really proven that they want to do the stuff necessary to really win this game.
Well, and you know what, Tim? That's with 40 minutes of hockey left to play. And if you're in the Utah room right now, you're saying, look, guys, we got a chance to get a split out of this. I know we gave up that late goal, but we're hanging around. We're still in this hockey game. If you're in the U of A room, you're saying, look, we have a 1-goal lead, but that's not going to be enough. 1 goal is not going to decide this hockey game. You need to score number 2, number 3, number 4, and show that you can put these guys away. So, again, Tim, I'll tell you what, the start to the first period and pretty much the entire 20 minutes was kind of flat. It was kind of down. I think the team that finds the momentum first, finds their legs first, their energy first, can make a big difference in this game. But I haven't seen either team show me that they're going to be the club that pulls ahead.
Me neither, Tom Callahan. We're waiting for an explosion of effort from one of the two teams.
And again, I was really surprised Utah, and again, credit U of A's penalty kill. They did a great job keeping them from getting a lot of chances, but Utah just didn't generate even momentum, Tim, off their power play. Not even talking about goals, just some kind of momentum, and they really didn't take a whole lot out after those power plays.
Well, and some of this could be attributed to the odd 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon game start. I think it could be, and maybe it had something to do with the quick turnaround between last night's game and this afternoon's game. But guess what? We have a period done here. Both teams need to be fully awake now. As we get ready for the second period of play, the Arizona Wildcats have taken the ice. Here come the Utah Utes. Nolan Bivelsick scuffs up his crease and gets ready to go. Cats will be going from right to left in their home grays. Utah from the left to the right in their road blacks. Tanner Mock, the freshman, getting the start here today. And he just has a 1-goal deficit. He's a small goaltender, Tom, just a 5'11", 165 pounds.
It's interesting, isn't it, Tim, how 5'11" is small now? At one point, that was a huge goalie.
Yeah, at one time, that was the maximum size of a goaltender.
Because it was thought if you're a small guy, you were quicker, you'd be more agile, be able to move around. And now it's everybody wants these 6'5", wide as a truck behemoths in there because it's all about blocking pucks as opposed to making saves.
Arizona's Nolan Bivelsick is 6'2", but just 190 pounds, still a slim 6'2". Boy, what I would do to be a 190-pound 6'2". That sounds pretty good right now. We're underway here in the second period. Puck comes into the Arizona zone. We're skating even-handed to start the period. Let's see if Arizona can stay out of the box. Ulnick sends the puck in, and it bounces away. I don't know if that actually got through to Mock, but it bounced out now to center ice. Ulnick finds the puck again, and Tom, Keelan Ulnick is such an improved player, arguably along with Manny Rowe, the top 2 defensemen for the Arizona Wildcats. And I just call his name a lot. The puck finds its way onto the stick as the puck comes in on Mock. He makes a save. You notice him during a game, and That's probably one of the greatest compliments you can give to any hockey player.
Well, it's funny, isn't it, Tim, how the puck seems to quote-unquote find the better players, but guys who know how to get open, find the open ice. The puck goes to those places, and if they can read the play well and have an understanding of the flow of things, you find those guys end up with the puck on their stick more often than not.
Justin Plumhoff tripped there on the face-off, but we play on to center ice. Arizona heads back the other way. That's Cully Olson, of course, brother of former Arizona captain Orion Olson, who we just saw last night in the building. Always great to see those former Wildcats come back and see their former teammates here. Here comes Arizona, 2-on-1. That's Cully Olson with the shot. It goes in. There's a tip and another goal by Vale Artizone. There's a case of Mock not able to control the puck coming in on him. He has his helmet off and he's kind of looking at his choppers, I think, a little bit there.
He got hit in the head. He got hit in the side of the head there, Tim. I think that initial shot came up, caught him up high, and he tried to cover it. Artizone coming to the net, found the rebound, big rebound, and that's Mock's been giving up those rebounds, but he took a pretty good clock on the left side of the head there. Looks like he's all right. He's shaking it off, but I'll tell you what, that was great, Tim. Artizone did exactly what we were talking about in the first period. He went to the net, found the rebound, and shoveled it home. Hey, it's in that little 5-foot area we talked about. Put the garbage goals away.
And it is his second of the day for number 5, Vale Artizone. The assist goes to number 14, Cully Olson. That's Artizone from Olson. Time of your Wildcat goal, 1 minute 15 seconds in the second period.
He shoots. He scores. Vale Artizone, if we were looking for secondary scoring, Tom, the freshman scoring 2 goals in this game.
That's a big goal early in the second.
Well, you talk about the not only the who, but the when, and as you said, we're just a minute and a half into the second period, and Arizona now up 2-0. Artizone with some good quick hands there to locate that puck and just tap it in the net for that 2-goal lead. Now, Jackson Peters and I always argue about this because I always argue with you about this, Tom, about the 2-goal lead. I don't think it's a secure lead at all in a game like this. We have a lot of hockey to go as the puck comes in high and wide off of Mock. A 2-goal lead in this game, I don't think either team has really proven that they're in control of it yet. When there's a shot that deflects in and Mock didn't see it, and that's going to be a backbreaker, as there was a long shot from the near side point.
I think Dickinson got the tip on that one down low, not sure, but the shot in for the point by Armstrong. Looked like it was deflected up off ice level, Tim.
It was absolutely deflected, but I'm not sure if it was deflected by an Arizona player. Cam Armstrong perhaps thinking he's going to get that goal.
Yeah, it may not. It might have hit a Utah player.
It might have. I'm not quite sure about that, but that's the kind of long, soft shot that you cannot let in. Arizona now with a 3-0 lead, and that's going to be a tough one for Utah to swallow. We'll see who the officials give this goal to.
Wildcat goal, give it to number 8, Cam Armstrong. The assist goes to number 22, Jake Dickinson. That's Armstrong from Dickinson. Time of your Wildcat goal, 2 minutes 11 seconds in the second period.
Yeah, I think that deflected perhaps off of a Ute into the net. And those are a couple pucks that you want a young goaltender like Cant or Mock to stop if you're going to stay in this game.
Well, and it's funny, I was, after the second goal, about to talk about how now really the fate of the Utes was in their own hands. This is the jumping off point of the hockey game. When you were down 2-0, you either get it in gear, get it going, or this is where the wheels can come off. And so U of A quickly pops another goal. And so now Utah, Tim, you can kind of see it. Like they're back a little. The energy is sapped from this Utes hockey team, and maybe in the back of their head they're thinking, oh boy, here we go again.
And Mock is kind of massaging his choppers again. The referee going over and saying, are you okay? Do you need a moment? You need to have a trainer come out and look at you? Because he's still bothered by that shot that hit him up high. Hockey players are tough, especially goalies. I'm sitting next to a goalie, and goalies are the toughest guys. Well, maybe stubborn.
Crazy.
Stubborn, crazy.
We're all a little nuts, Tim.
Tough.
But
They don't want to. The point is, they're in there for their team, and they don't want to leave the game.
Well, and this kid is a freshman, getting a chance to play, make a start here. He wants to stay and show what he can do. And no, you're going to have to get him out of there with a hook and a winch. In behind the play there, Dickinson took a check, and he struggled getting off, Tim.
Well, Arizona, here we have a delayed penalty on Arizona and a whistle. So Utah gets another opportunity here, it appears.
Looks like Dickinson's left leg being tended to on the bench there.
Justin Dungy goes to the box. We'll see what the call is here. And keep an eye on Dickinson as well. Arizona can ill afford any more injuries. Ethan Stallhuth not in the lineup today because of injury. We hope that we can get Ethan Stallhuth back soon. Same with Trey Decker, out today with injury, and he had played well yesterday too.
26, Justin Dungy, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time of that penalty, 3 minutes, 15 seconds in the second period.
Cross-check for Dungy. We're just 3.5 minutes into the second period. Arizona has kind of broken this one open, though. Now ahead 3-0. Big opportunity for Utah. They've got to score a goal on this power play. You just get that feeling, Tom.
Yeah, that was the wording I was going to choose, Tim. A must-score opportunity here for Utah if they want to stick around.
I mean, we have a lot of hockey to go. We're just almost 4 minutes into the second period. But still, you just get the idea. If Utah is going to get their head back into this game, they need to at least get some momentum off this power play. 1:10 to go on it. As the puck comes in on Bivasic, and he just wraps it into the near side corner.
If this were game one of the series, Tim, I don't think this would be such a crucial power play. 3-0. Okay, I mean, there's almost 2 periods to go in this game. You got a lot of time. But in light of what happened yesterday, I think mentally it's just a different setup.
Yeah, I mean, it is a different game. That game doesn't count from yesterday, but it's not like these young players, they do have memories.
Sure.
Arizona's going to break in 2-on-1, now 3-on-2. The puck comes over to Ulnick. It goes to the far side post. It just goes wide. Ulnick with some nice touch there just to kind of tap it to the far side post, but an Arizona stick doesn't find the puck. What a great shorthanded opportunity as the puck goes wide of Bivasic. 25 seconds to go now on the power play. Utah does keep it in, but Arizona digs for it there. Ben Jones, oh, he doesn't get it out. This has been a problem for Arizona sometimes as Utah itself exits the zone. Down to the last 10 seconds of the power play. The best opportunity was shorthanded for Arizona.
Yeah, and boy, you'd like to see a better shot, better chance than that, but still a great opportunity.
The penalty is over.
Oh, boy.
And here comes Arizona. Justin Dungy with the breakaway. Dungy with the breakaway. He shoots, and a nice save there by Canner Mock. Oh, and almost a backdoor opportunity for Artizoni to get his hat trick. Boy, that was a nice break. Textbook break out of the penalty box there for Justin Dungy.
He was all alone, and what a great save. Low blocker shot, so hard to stop for a goaltender, but Mock just got the tip of the waffle on that one. That was a big save, Tim.
And Utah has taken its timeout. We've got 14:25 to go in the second period. We're just 5.5 minutes into the second period. Utah has taken their timeout. But, you know, you got to tip your hat to Canner Mock there, keeping his head in the game. Down 3-0, a breakaway coming in. And he makes a really good save there to keep it 3-0 for Arizona. This is an interesting move so early in this game to take their time out. Perhaps the coaching staff seeing the Utah Utes' lack of intensity there and now some open chances. Boy, it's hard to explain that breakaway right out of the penalty box other than a lack to detail there by the Utah Utes.
Well, and Tim, I don't imagine they're saying anything different than what we've been saying up here. It's a point in a hockey game where, hey, if you don't want to fall out of it, U of A is not going to hand you goals. You need to go score those goals. You need to go make those plays. And that's what Utah needs to do right now. They need to make those plays if they're going to get into the hockey game.
So we'll have a face-off outside the Utah zone. Canner Mock goes back into his crease. It's good to see that he's well enough to continue. Just made a big save on a breakaway. It's got to be Utah's highlight for the game so far. It's Artizone, the freshman, already with 2 goals. And a lot of hockey to play here. You know, hat tricks in college hockey are a pretty rare occurrence. And you know his teammates, especially if Arizona has a comfortable lead, are going to start looking for Vail Artizone to try to give him that opportunity, especially as a freshman, to have a hat trick at home. That's a big deal.
Well, and he's had a good start, Tim. And again, I mean, that second goal especially was well executed to get the shot. There was a rebound there. U of A gets to the rebound, and that is textbook what you want to see from the Wildcats here for the remainder of this game and really for the season. Just follow through, execute. You've got to be there. And they were in that chance, and it ended up in the back of the net.
So let's see how Utah responds after they call a timeout very early into this game. You know, something in their advantage, they're a long way from home. They have to get back on the team bus and head back to the University of Utah after this. Why not give everything you got? You know, you can sleep on the bus.
Yeah.
You can, you know, give everything you got here. That's why you're on a hockey team. That's why you're wearing the U on the front of your jersey. Give everything you got here in Tucson, Arizona. So we'll see how they respond. Just 6.5 minutes into the second period. Arizona with a 3-0 lead now. Arizona digs it out. Can they turn and get a shot on goal, though? Watch out if Arizona can get a power play, because so far it's been Arizona in the penalty box, but Utah hasn't been able to dent the scoreboard. Cats dig for the puck here. Can they turn and get a shot? It goes high and wide. Now coming down to 7 minutes gone in the second period. A lot of hockey to go here, and it's just a 3-0 lead, and Arizona has iced the puck. We'll come back down into the Wildcat zone. You know, this is also the kind of, I think with the smaller crowd here on a Sunday afternoon, perhaps how the Arizona Wildcat coaching staff has to spin this is, you know, in tournament games and neutral site games, you have to generate your own excitement, your own motivation. You got to do it yourself and keep it going. And there's a nice tip and a good save there by Nolan Bivelsick to the far side corner. Ben Jones trying to pin it there, but Arizona comes away with it. Joey Trapp with the puck. Check that, Kyle Wade.
Tim, you talk about Arizona having a little bit of trouble leaving the zone here, and again on the breakout. I mean, breakouts can be very simple, but so hard to execute if they're defended well. And right now for U of A, they've just got to get that puck moving up the ice with possession, and they're struggling a bit with it.
Yeah, this is a part of their game that before tournament time they've got to improve on. Easy for us to sit up here and say that, of course.
Sure.
As Jake Dickinson throwing the body there. Good to see Arizona still engaged here physically. As there's a shot right in front to Andrew Urchin. He sent it over the net. Maybe the best opportunity for Utah so far to score. But the puck goes high over the net. Arizona picks it up. Over the line goes Ben Fury. And tipped out to center ice.
Tim, that might be the most chatter we've heard out of either team so far in this game on that particular rush by Arizona. So at least it seems like the players are engaging a little bit more here. Maybe it's going to pick up a bit.
Well, the entire Arizona bench standing here, which I think is fascinating as we're getting close to the middle mark of the game. And a lot of, around half of Utah's bench standing. The Utah bench, or the Arizona bench, trying, I think, to get their guys to execute and play with a little bit of passion here. As we're now 9 minutes into this second period. Arizona comes back up ice over the blue line with some speed. There's a shot that goes wide. I think that's out of play. It is out of play. There's the whistle.
Ricocheted right off the top of the dasher and out. And I like that U of A is shooting the puck. But right now I think Utah also doing a good job of getting sticks and bodies in the lane a little bit and forcing U of A to try to get it through them, and struggling a little bit with that to hit the net in doing so.
And Canner Mock adjusting his headgear again. He's obviously bothered by that shot that was up high on him, but he appears okay. And puck comes in, he makes a nice save, but he doesn't cover it. Where's the whistle? There's the whistle, late whistle there. But he didn't quite have control of that puck, and the referee allowed a couple extra seconds there until he lost sight of the puck. You know, I also get the idea that perhaps the Wildcat players are saying, you know, we got a young freshman goaltender here. Let's make him see the puck and make saves. A nice soft shot from the blue line is not a bad idea.
No, and you know what? Right now, this again with a goaltender who is a freshman who's given up some big rebounds, and finally U of A got to one that produced the second goal. Just keep pouring pucks towards the net. That's a very sound, safe strategy.
Gets back in over the line. The Ice Monster takes down Wildcat. Puck goes wide. Chris Westland's up and he's okay. Manny Rowe takes care of his man, his opposite number, Owen Liebernight.
He's had a tough game, Liebernight.
Cat's right in over the line, and Anthony Cusinelli just kind of mugged going through the slot there. No call. And play continues on. Cusinelli just cruising down the slot there, but he doesn't get the shot off. Bailey Marshall, this number one line, it goes back to Cusinelli now behind the net. Marshall digging it for it there. Well, this number one line is working, that's for darn sure. For Arizona, as we're down now below the 10-minute mark, 9:45 to go in the second period. Arizona with a 3-0 lead. Long stretch pass to Cusinelli, comes into the Utah zone. Cusinelli picks it up again. Oh, he does a nice toe drag move. That puck's in the net.
No, goalie interference, Tim. They're going to wave it off.
No goal. Boy, what a nice play there by Anthony Cusinelli, doing a nice little toe drag move. He just kind of drifted to his right and then picked the upper left corner of the net. But I think, as you said, an Arizona player was interfering with.
Bailey Marshall was parked in the blue paint, and I think the referee saying that Mock never got a chance to make a save.
Contact with the goaltender.
And so that Bailey Marshall was there trying to set the screen. Well, did a little bit more than that. And it actually bailed out a bad mistake by Utah on that dump in. They had a chance to try to play the puck around to the far side wall, Tim. They didn't. They kept it on the near side, and Cusinelli picked it up. It was a turnover directly to him. That was a gift and actually a really lucky break for the Utes here that it's not 4-0.
Well, and also I think a lucky break for Arizona. They didn't actually call an interference penalty there. We'll stay even-handed. They just waved off the goal.
And I think you see that when it's acknowledged, okay, hey, there was a battle in front of the net. The offending player ended up interfering with the goaltender, but wasn't going in there to clean him out.
Yeah. There's a shot that comes in on Mock, and he thought he made the easy save, but he dropped the puck, located it, and will have the whistle. I think it's a good idea just to get rubber in on Mock.
Well, twice it's hit him in the mitt, and he has not held on to either one. He hasn't had a lot of occasion to use his glove, but hasn't caught either puck. And again, I mean, he hasn't really shown me anything that's going to tell me he's putting away pucks or controlling rebounds.
9:15 to go in the second period. Arizona with a 3-0 lead over Utah. Utah trying to dump it in over the Cats' blue line, but the Cats come away with it. Cats look in control of this game, Tom, but it's just 3-0. They have to stay engaged here and work on their game, as there's one of those long breakout passes, but Arizona does come away with it. Coley Olsen sends it in. Oh, is that Vail Artizone's hat trick?
That is.
That's that puck goes to the far side post, and Vail Artizone, that is almost a complete reflex goal, where Vail Artizone's in the right place and he puts his stick down. They're showing the replay right now. His stick is on the ice and he just shovels it in the net. And I think that's a hatter for Vail Artizone. I see a longtime Wildcat fan who doesn't have a hat, who's appealing for Wildcat fans to give him a hat to throw on the ice. Congratulations, Vail Artizone. What a beautiful goal. What a beautiful pass. as we'll wait for the call here, but
I can't believe Olsen got that puck through. That's something that right there, I mean, Mock's got to take care of that.
And it is a hat trick for number 5, Vale Artizone. The assist goes to number 14, Cully Olsen, and number 8, Cam Armstrong. That's Artizone from Olsen and Armstrong. Time of your Wildcat goal, 11 minutes, 19 seconds in the second period.
Jake Dickinson breaks in and sends the puck high and wide. Yeah, that was a long pass right on his stick to the far post. A beautiful, beautiful goal. And Vale Artizone, as we said, it isn't all that common for in college to have a hat trick. Freshman Vale Artizone gets one, and he only had one goal entering this weekend. So Vale Artizone now has quadrupled his output in one game.
And Tim, right now, Arizona's got the energy. They've got the momentum. They're the team that, as we're talking about coming into this period, okay, who's it going to be? Who's going to seize the mantle? And right now, the Wildcats have done that. They've stretched the lead to 4, and they're looking to put away Utah.
Well, and you've got some young hockey players for Arizona who are performing well here tonight. Now you want to see your veterans chip in a little bit here too. Is a good long shot. Bounces off of Mock to the far side corner. Mock protecting his post there as the puck comes right to the center of the ice. Now some shooting lanes starting to open up for the Arizona Wildcats.
Well, and Utah's chasing now. Utah's chasing the game, chasing pucks. This is not how you catch back up in a hockey game, is by chasing the game, but that's exactly what the Utes have started doing. Utah
does look like they need a visit from the Energizer Bunny here. They look like their battery's starting to run a little low. 6:45 to go in the second period. 4-0 now Arizona as the puck bounces in on Mock. That's a good idea too. Make Mock handle the puck. This is great experience for Canner Mock for sure in real game action to see what Arizona throws at him. And how do young goaltenders become seasoned, better goaltenders? They have to see really good game action, and that's what Canner Mock is getting out of today's game. There's a long pass to Anthony Cusinelli. He leaves it off to Bailey Marshall. Coming down, Bailey Marshall just scores! Bailey Marshall! He just twists that wrist, and the puck's in the net. Arizona 5, Utah 0. Bailey Marshall. Tom, can you tell I like that goal?
I think you were a big fan of that. And again, Cusinelli, Tim, that's what he did to set up the goal before the end of the first period. Not only does he leave the puck off, but he spins while he does it, rubs out the defender at the same time. And, I mean, Bailey Marshall had all day and just backed Mock up into his net, picked the corner, any corner, put it in.
Great vision there by Anthony Cusinelli and a perfect soft little pass to Bailey Marshall streaking down the crease.
Goal, give it to number 11, Bailey Marshall. The assist goes to number 15, Anthony Cusinelli, and number 20, Manny Rowe. That's Marshall from Cusinelli and Rowe. Time of your Wildcat goal, 13 minutes, 49 seconds in the second period.
He shoots, he scores. Yeah, if that play had gone on a couple more seconds, Mock would have been backed up right back into the entire back of his net. Really nothing he could do there. Bailey Marshall, if you give him that kind of space and vision of the goaltender with the puck, leading scorer for the Arizona Wildcats, getting the assist from the second leading scorer from the Arizona Wildcats. So that's exactly what I was talking about, Tom. We've seen some of the young players come through with some nice plays. You want to see your best players also execute. So there's a good save by Nolan Bivelsick. And we just saw two of Arizona's best perfectly execute with each other. Great feel for each other of where they are on the ice.
Well, and Tim, too, it's a tale of two goaltenders here. Bivelsick made big saves in the first period when he was called on. He's a confident goalie, even though he hasn't played nearly as much, obviously, as Shuro. But as you said, he's the 1B. He's a good player and makes those stops, stays where he's supposed to. Now, with Mock, to me, it's a case of the incredible shrinking goaltender. as his confidence wanes, you back up in the net a little more. You're afraid of getting beat by passes, and you're not as aggressive. You don't stay out. You start to question things. You want to get back to your net as quick as you can, and that's something, again, a freshman's got to learn through playing, and a goalie coach has to work with him. Hey, stay out on your angles. Know where your position is. And so if that is something he can develop down the road here throughout his college career, he can turn into a very good netminder.
Well, and you have this game footage to go over with your coaches too. Vail Artizoni already with a hat trick here tonight, breaking in. Ooh, he takes a hard hit. He's okay, up and okay. He's going to have this game footage to go over with his coaches and get better. As there's a shot that he sees from the point, he makes the save in the breadbasket, and Tom Callahan's now going to head on down to ice level. Head on over to the University of Arizona Wildcat Facebook page and see Tom talk to an Arizona player or coach. That's on the University of Arizona Facebook page. That's at the end of the second period. We have 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go until we get there. Arizona with a commanding 5-0 lead here. Cats come back in over the line. Send it in on Mock. Oh, he doesn't find that puck. He thought he had it, and it is under him. We finally get a whistle, but this is something Counter Mac needs to work on a little bit. You know, locating that puck and making sure that you have it frozen. That's a difficult thing for a referee, too, because is the puck still loose? Can I actually see it? Can I not see it? When do I blow my whistle? So it makes it difficult for the referee when he's unsure where the puck is as well. No harm done, though, so we'll have a face-off in the Utah zone. Won by the Utes. Comes back to Keelan Ulnick. Good pad save there by Mock. The puck goes up and out of play, and we'll have another face-off. 3:38 to go in the second. Arizona has broken this one open now. They had one goal in the last second of the first period. Now they've got 4 goals here in the second frame. Utah sends it in deep and chases for it. That's Matthew Perry digging for it, but it comes back to Arizona. They're back over the blue line. Long shot and a save and a whistle for Mock. He's looking for that puck. He does have it. You know, as in anything you learn by doing, and this entire Utah squad, I think, is learning a little bit about a more talented squad here in the Arizona Wildcats and how they play. It's all part of the development for any team. Utes give away the puck right in the slot. There's a good save, but there's a goal by Arizona. That's Joey Trapp. I think it was Joey Trapp. Picking up the rebound and throwing it in for a 6-0 Arizona lead. Mock made the first save, but again, he couldn't control the puck. And Arizona found the puck for a 6-0 lead. We'll wait for the announcement here. Oh, and we're going to change goaltenders here with 3:08 to go in the second. For Utah, that'll be it for Connor Mock. And we'll wait for the call here as the play's going to go right back on.
Arizona Wildcat goal, give it to number 28, Joey Trapp. That's Trapp, unassisted. Time of your Wildcat goal, 16 minutes, 52 seconds in the second period.
Joey Trapp with the goal. He shoots. He scores. And Utah has changed goaltenders.
Number 30, Patrick Casper.
So we've gone through the cycle of the 3 goaltenders for Utah, and we're back to the starter in game 1, Patrick Casper. He's played the majority of the season for the Utah Utes. And he was chased in game 1 after 5 goals. Well, it's 6-0 here with 2:18 to go in the second period. And it looks like Casper will bring us the rest of the way, at least the rest of the second period. And you got to believe a good learning experience for Cantor Mock here in the big arena here in Tucson, Arizona. But he gave up 6 goals in almost 2 periods of play. So we'll go back to Casper to finish up the second period. Utah trying to get some pressure on in the Arizona zone. Be interesting to see the shots on goal for this period. Utah actually outshot Arizona 8-6 in the first, but it's been all Arizona here in the second. Here comes Bailey Marshall trying to get it on goal from a tough angle. 1:30 to go in the second period. Remember, head on over to the University of Arizona Wildcats Facebook page at the end of the period, and Tom Callahan will talk to an Arizona personality to see what they think about the game, and then come on back here for the third period of play. We'll also have more highlights and video. And there's a shot and a goal by Chris Westland. Just snapped that shot. And less than a minute after Patrick Casper takes the net for Utah, Chris Westland came in and just snapped that shot into the net. Arizona 7, Utah nothing. This is not what it appeared the kind of game it was going to be in the first period. Arizona has broken it open. Good to see Chris Westland get back on the board. He had 2 goals yesterday and 1 here tonight.
Give it to number 12, Chris Westland. The assist goes to number 11, Bailey Marshall. That's Westland from Marshall. Time of your Wildcat goal, 18 minutes, 46 seconds in the second period.
He shoots, he scores. Westland with his first goal of the evening, or the afternoon rather. Rare afternoon game here on a Sunday afternoon here in Tucson Arena. 40 seconds to go, and there's another tap in the goal. It's beautiful pass and a goal to Justin Plumhoff. What a feed to Plumhoff, and he shovels it into the net. Arizona 8, Utah nothing. Great intensity from the Arizona Wildcats. And Justin Plumhoff makes sure that that goal hits the back of the net. Total domination again from the University of Arizona Wildcats in this second period. They found their intensity and they have kept it up. Waiting for the call here in the last 30 seconds of the period.
Wildcat goal, give it to number 19, Justin Plumhoff. The assist goes to number 5, Vale Artizoni, and number 14, Cully Olson. That's Plumhoff from Artizoni and Olson. Time of your Wildcat goal, 19 minutes, 21 seconds in the third period.
He shoots, he scores, and that's going to do it for the second period of play. There goes the whistle and the horn. We have 2 periods of play done here. The number 6 Arizona Wildcats. Oh, here's a shot.
The second period, Utah with 5, Arizona with 32. The score after 2 complete periods of play here at the Tucson Convention Center Arena. It is your
The shots on goal in the second period, 5 for Utah. The official score says 32 for the University of Arizona, and I'm going to have that checked. That's got to be a record here, at least in the modern era here for University of Arizona hockey. 32 shots on goal in 1 period for the Arizona Wildcats. It was dominated with 7 goals by Arizona, but that's a heck of a lot of shots on goal. So far for the game, 13 for Utah and 38 for Arizona. Now, the question is for both squads, what are they going to do about the third period here in a game that looks to be out of hand for Utah and in hand for Arizona, who still needs to get better. They're going to have tougher competition here next weekend. The Colorado schools are here, so it's Colorado State, 7:30 Thursday night. Our broadcast starts 10 minutes earlier. And then afternoon games, Friday and Saturday, 1 p.m. against Colorado. Those are huge, huge WCHL games for the Arizona Wildcats, and they have just 1 period to get better and get ready for those games. But at the end of 2 periods of play, it's Arizona 8 and Utah nothing. We'll be back for the 3rd period of play with my broadcast partner, Tom Callahan. After this package of video highlights and interviews, you are watching University of Arizona Wildcats Hockey.
Wildcat Hockey regresa a Tucson y tú puedes ahorrarte hasta 20% en boletos con los nuevos paquetes de FlexPack.
Your Arizona Wildcats.
Un acceso de 6 a 12 juegos esta temporada de los Gatos. Boletos disponibles en Tucson Convention Center o llamando el 791-4101. Apoya a su equipo esta temporada con FlexPack. Para más información visite ArizonaWildcatHockey.org.
We need you. We need you. We need you to support Wildcat Hockey.
The Wildcats are back in action, and it's time to show your U of A pride at the TCC Arena. Please call for tickets or come to the TCC box office. U of A Hockey is affordable and fun for the entire family.
We need you.
We need you. We need you to support U of A Wildcat Hockey. Longtime Arizona hockey fans might remember that I was the media director for the team for the first time in the late 1990s, and I found a recruiting video that I made for the team in the year 2000. Now, in the 1980s and 1990s, as college hockey got more popular, it was common for colleges to put the word ice in front of their nickname. So Arizona State were the Ice Devils, and Arizona were the Ice Cats, and that's the name that you'll see in this recruiting video, which was made a full 10 years before Arizona adopted their regular Wildcat nickname. So let's get in the time machine and go back to the year 2000 and see this Arizona hockey recruiting video.
Located in central Tucson on 352 acres, the University of Arizona is one of the top-ranked universities in the nation. Surrounded by soaring mountains in the Sonoran Desert, the campus boasts lush lawns, palm trees, and more than 300 days of sunshine each year. More than 35,000 undergraduate and graduate students attend the U of A, coming from all 50 states and more than 100 foreign countries. Arizona also has one of the most successful collegiate men's ice hockey programs in the United States, the Arizona Ice Cats.
It's a new season, a new century, but you still can't beat this cat. It's the 21st season of Arizona Ice Cat College Hockey. 18 home games at the TCC with 4 matchups against arch rival ASU.
The Arizona Ice Cats compete in Division I of the American Collegiate Hockey Association, the ACHA. All home games are played in the 7,000-seat Tucson Convention Center near the UofA campus. More than 1 million fans have packed the TCC over the years to watch Arizona Ice Cat hockey. That's an average of 5,000 fans a game, making the Ice Cats one of the top 5 draws in the U.S. for collegiate hockey at any level.
Paul, for those who haven't seen what it's like to have 7,000 people at the Tucson Convention Center to cheer for the Arizona Ice Cats against a team like arch rival ASU, for instance, can you tell them what kind of madhouse it is to see the Ice Cats play in front of 7,000 home fans?
Well, it's dubbed the Madhouse on Main Street here at the TCC, and when you come in, even if you come in for a game where we'll play a St. Louis University or something, you know, that's not a big rival of ours, we're still going to have 4,000, 5,000 people in the stands, you know, screaming your name. You get to see signs with your name on it. It's uncomparable to anything I've ever had before I got here. The biggest crowd I ever played in front of was maybe 400 or 500 people in high school, a big high school rivalry.
I'm sure you were told there were 6,000 or 7,000 people for some of the games here at Arizona, but were you still surprised when you walked out onto the ice the first time in front of that many people?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's one thing being able to sit in the stands with the 6,000 people and watching, you know, the team play. It's one thing. Another thing, step on the ice in front of that many people, and it's just nuts. It's you know, the crowd's screaming. You know, you're the home team, and you know, you got your arch rival ASU down there, and just be able to play in front of that crowd, it's pretty nerve-wracking your first time out.
It is the most exciting feeling there is against Arizona State to score a big goal. I know I can't explain it. You get jumped on by your players. I mean, 7,000 fans cheering for you. It was a great experience. It happened to me last year twice, 2 games in a row, and it was just the greatest feeling of the year by far.
In this ACHA, you've got Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Dearborn, on and on, Iowa State. I mean, we're talking about some of the biggest hockey colleges in the country, which we play. We have a graduation rate that is far better than any other sport on the University of Arizona campus. And needless to say, they got to be an excellent hockey player. We have young men that comes out of junior A's. We've had some that come down from Division I, quote-unquote big schools, which we play anyway. But they much play here in front of 6,800 people than play in front of 1,000. There is, I guarantee you, not a fan in the country that matches our fans when it comes to making noise, bar no place in the country.
Founded in 1979, the Ice Cats' numbers are staggering. More than 400 wins, a record 18 consecutive national tournament appearances, 8 Final Four appearances, and the 1985 National Collegiate Club Championship.
Mark, talk about the travel that this team takes, because many teams will play just their closest neighbors, but the Arizona Ice Cats fly all over the country to play games. Talk about the opportunities you have to play the best teams in the country.
We go on road trips all the time during the year. I mean, they're a lot of fun. We go all to Penn State, make it down to Chicago, out in the Midwest, California. We travel all over. We just get to play the best competition.
Are you glad you came to Tucson, Arizona, attend the University of Arizona, and play for the Arizona Ice Cats?
Oh, definitely. It's one of the best decisions I've ever made. You get to wear sandals and shorts to the rink every day and have fun playing hockey, and the school itself's a great school to go to.
Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Tickets for Arizona hockey are now on sale. Your hockey team, your Arizona Wildcats. Call 791-4101 for tickets now.
Welcome back to the Tucson Arena. We have 2 periods of play completed between the number 6 Arizona Wildcats and the Utah Utes. I'm Timothy Gasson, delighted to have Tom Callahan in the booth with us here for Arizona Hockey. And Tom, you went down to ice level to do an interview at the end of the second period, and there was some more scoring while you were walking down to ice level, plus a goaltender change. So a lot happening late in that period. Arizona with an 8-0 lead. Okay, you're in the Utah locker room. What the heck do you say to your young men of the Utah Utes and how to approach this third period of play?
This has to be about respect, Tim. Respect for yourself, for the way you play the game, your effort level. You know, okay, it's 8-0. You're coming into a game in which the third period, there's not a whole heck of a lot that you're going to do to overcome an 8-goal deficit. However, you have to play to show yourself that you're better than this. You have to put the effort out there. This is where you have to dig down and say, you know what, I'm going to play for myself. I'm going to play for my teammates. I'm going to play for the university. This is where that pride factor comes in, and you have to show that you have that.
And you know, Tom, I have to check with the official score. It was announced that Arizona had 32 shots on goal in that second period to Utah's 5. I have a real the period was dominated by the University of Arizona, but I really have a hard time believing that Arizona actually had 35 shots on goal. I'm going to look at the official score sheet while we talk here.
Well, and 32 would be an awful lot of shots on goal, but I agree, Tim. I'd be a little surprised if it was that high. But, I mean, they did score 7 times in that period, chased a goaltender. And, Tim, I was a little surprised that when Mock came out, I don't know that I agree with going back to your starter at that point with just a couple of minutes left in the second period. You made the point during the break of, hey, why not let the kid finish the period, which I agree with. But here in the third period and heading back out here, it's going to be Casper once again. But I don't know why you don't give Slaw some playing time here. And let him try to, build some minutes, build some confidence. I mean, clearly, Casper's your guy. But I think the other 2 goalies could definitely benefit from the experience and the ice time.
Okay, I'm looking at the official score feed for the game so far, and there is some contention about how many shots on goal. They're uncertain. Arizona had. It doesn't get much better for Utah, though. It's either 29 shots for Arizona or 32. They're going to determine that later. That's a heck of a lot of shots on goal for any goaltender, especially a young freshman, Cant or Mock. But as you said, Casper will go here to start the third period of play with Arizona ahead, 8-0. Okay, I asked you to be the coach of Utah. You're the coach of the Arizona Wildcats. Now you've got big games, league games, next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You're up 8-0. Here at home. What do you want to achieve in the third period? And the one thing that I'll add in front of that is you want to make sure you don't have any game disqualifications because you need all your guys Thursday night.
Right. And honestly, Tim, I probably break this period down into 4 5-minute segments and say to my guys, let's go out and win every 5-minute segment. Let's shorten this game up from an attention span point because when it's 8-0, you can start to stare into the rafters a little bit. U of A needs to not lose its focus, and I think they need to play it in 5-minute segments or 5-minute increments. Go out there, win each of those 5-minute segments, and come out with an even more convincing victory. Up 8-0, you've got to stay focused.
Yeah, you don't want this to slip away into mediocrity if you're the Arizona Wildcats. That's for darn sure. 20 minutes to go.
And again, Tim, you make the point, don't let Utah get under your skin. Don't let them get to you. Don't let them goad you into a bad penalty or a mistake. You really have to keep your wits about you here.
Yeah, there's nothing to be gained from getting into silly stuff, rough stuff. As a shot from Cully Olson goes wide, their opportunity for Arizona. There's just nothing to be gained for Arizona to get involved in any of that. All you can do is get injured, go to the penalty box, or get a disqualification. You can't play Thursday night against Colorado State. And we can't have any of those things happen if Arizona expects to get better. Remember, we'll drop the puck 7:30 Thursday night against Colorado State. It's a WCHL game, an important game for Arizona. And we'll start our broadcast at 7:20 Thursday night. So that's Arizona and Colorado State. Thursday night, we'll play Colorado Friday and Saturday, 1 p.m. games here at the Tucson Arena. We hope you come out and support your hometown hockey team, the Arizona Wildcats. We're just underway here in the third period. 1 minute gone. Arizona with a commanding 8-0 lead. And if you're Utah, as I said, you know, you've got a long bus ride back to campus. Let it all hang out here and sleep well on the bus, and know that there's a trip by Arizona and a whistle, and Utah will go on the power play here. I got to believe Manny Rhodes going to be upset with himself when he sees that penalty. There's really no reason for it. Just put his stick in a place that the player goes down. You're going to be called for that penalty.
Well, exactly. And Tim, right now, if you're the officials, that's in the back of your head too. You don't want this game to get away from you either way. Call what needs to be called. And for Utah right now, hey, take this power play. Do what you can.
Penalty, 1 minute, 20 seconds in the third period.
But I would not be surprised if Coach Berman termed probably all but one of these penalties that the Wildcats have taken so far as bad penalties. You know, it's just you stop moving your feet or you get a little lazy. You don't quite catch up to the guy. You put your stick out there. And even, like I say, if he steps on it and goes down, hey, I mean, that's you put the banana peel there, you're going to get called for it.
And Manny Rowe has done a really good job this year, has really improved on taking penalties, not taking dumb penalties, improved his passing. His puck security is so much better than it was last year. He's going to be disappointed with himself about taking that penalty, and it was an obvious penalty to call early in the third period. Down to the last 1:10 to go on the man advantage for Utah. They really haven't done anything with the puck yet. Stolen away there by Dawson Marshall, brother of Bailey Marshall.
Well, as we heard over on the Facebook page, Tim, as the Utes are in offside here, I mean, Phil Ardizzoni flat out told me, hey, I took a dumb penalty in the first period. I used that as motivation. I came back because I knew I had to. I had to atone for that mistake, and he's got the hat trick here today.
Wow, that's a nice way to atone for taking a bad penalty if you can come back as a freshman. Only 1 goal so far on the season and then score a hat trick. Way to go, Vail. Under a minute to go in the man advantage for Utah. Arizona sends it back to center ice. Utah will try to reset there. Kind of miff on the puck there, or muff on the puck, and Arizona picks it up and tries to send it down the ice. Now Max Meyer gets it over the line and retreats down to the last 30 seconds to go on the power play. And it just doesn't appear that there is not a lot of energy left for the Utah bench. They look like a tired hockey team.
They do, and they look like a team that's trailing 8-0 right now, 3 minutes into this third period. And not that there aren't guys still out there skating and giving an effort, but it's just the body language and the overall air of this team has pretty much been let out of the balloon.
Well, there's a number of scratches on their roster here, too. It could be they've just run out of steam on this road trip as Arizona breaks in. And there's a nice shot by Justin Dungy and a good save there by Patrick Casper for the Utah Utes. We're 3.5 minutes into the final period of play. Arizona kills off that latest power play opportunity. Arizona, I don't believe, I have to look, I don't think they've had a power play in this game.
I don't think they have.
Utah with approximately 8,000 power plays so far. That's just again, I'll have to look at the official scoring sheet. That's just my guess. They have had opportunities, is the point, as the puck bounces behind the net here. They have had opportunities on the power play, even a two-man advantage here tonight, and have been unable so far to connect on the power play. That can be the great equalizer for a team like Utah against Arizona, but they haven't been able to get it done here today. Now 4 minutes into the third period of play, and the puck comes out to Ben Fury in over the line. Fury's going to go to the backhand. No, he goes behind the net, looking for a cat. Getting checked there, and he tries to send it down into the near side corner. Joey Trapp digging for it there. Joey Trapp with a goal here tonight. Manny Rowe, nice save. Oh, he almost was able to keep that into the blue line. He has to vacate. Sends it back to Joey Trapp, who sends it down low. Casper missed that puck. One of his defensemen picks it up and looks to headman out to center ice. Keelan Ulnick picks it up there and sends it right back in
to the zone. Arizona has a delayed offside and has to vacate. Now they're going to go for a partial change. 4.5 minutes into the final period of play here. Arizona with an 8-0 lead. And no evidence yet as this puck is going to come in, I think, on goal. No, it's going to go behind. That's going to be an ice on Utah. And no real evidence of some nasty stuff boiling between these two squads. It did get a little nasty in the last 5 minutes of yesterday's game. Nothing that got out of hand. I give a lot of credit to the discipline of the Utah youth squad. That you can understand them being testy and upset, but they kept their composure in that game yesterday. I don't expect anything different here, but we'll keep an eye on some nasty stuff, especially after the whistle. And behind the play, as we've mentioned, Coach Berman doesn't prefer the two referee system here. So there's only one referee, two linesmen, which means behind the play, sometimes there can be some stick work and some stuff happening that the referees won't see, especially after a whistle. So keep an eye on that, Wildcat fans. The puck comes right down into the slot past Kevin Bird.
And that's the other thing, too, Tim, is that right now, if you're Utah, you do not want to put Arizona on a power play. Certainly not with them up 8-0. You don't want to do anything that's going to require even more effort, which killing penalties is very tiring for the guys who are out there doing it. You just want to try to, if you draw power plays, great, but you want to stay away from going down a man.
Colin Kinslow's stick was knocked out of his hands. He retrieves it and heads back to the bench. Got to be a frustrated Ute there. But yeah, you know, as you said, Utah wants to stay out of the box also because if there's a way for Arizona to stay interested in the game, it's to have a man advantage and have an opportunity to score a goal. You'd like for them at this point to be as disinterested as possible, up 8-0 as the puck comes in on Patrick Casper.
And from afar, Tim, I haven't gotten a chance to see it up close, but from afar, it looks like Casper's mask is an homage to Denny Aron's mask from the late 70s. With the almost, I guess you'd say arrowhead type of stripes on it.
Oh, there's the puck that goes behind Casper. He thought he had it into the net. We'll have to see who gets this goal. Casper thought he had it, but it ends up in the net, and Arizona has a 9-0 lead. Oh, Casper wants that one back. He thought he had that puck, and it somehow slipped behind him.
I don't think I've ever seen so many goaltenders get hit square in the mitt and not catch a puck as I have today.
That might be Kyle Wade's goal. We'll wait for the call here. It happened so fast.
Meyer was on the doorstep there. I don't know if he got that one.
And I thought Casper made the save.
Arizona Wildcat gold. Give it to number 26, Justin Dungy. The assist goes to number 27, Max Meyer. That's Dungy from Meyer. Time of your Wildcat goal, 6 minutes, 15 seconds in the third period.
He shoots, he scores. Justin Dungy gets credit for the goal, Tom.
Maybe you got a tip in there someplace, Tim, but again, I just can't believe that Casper and Mock, it just not being able to trap these pucks that are hitting them in the pocket of the glove. Looks like a women's lacrosse stick the way it's just pinballing out of there.
There's a good block off of a shot by Ben Fury. Utah comes back the other way. Yeah, you know, when you're outmanned a little bit here in the skill department and you're on the road, you're going to have stellar goaltender play. And Utah's tried all their goaltenders. They've made some good saves, but they haven't made those really, really big saves that you need to stay in a hockey game like this. And you got to hope that, I don't know, maybe you'd never look at this videotape ever again. It could be a good learning experience as that shot just goes wide of the goal. I think a good goaltender coach could use this to help your goaltenders.
Well, I think you can use every little bit, Tim, whether it's a goal scored or a save made or even a chance it goes by the boards that might be a close one. There's teachable moments in there for goaltenders. And you know what, especially when they're young at the college level, I mean, instruction really helps these kids out. It will make them better. That's why coaching is so important in the development all the way up from, the time you're first a mini-mite, when you hit the ice, all the way through your possible pro playing career. Coaches can make a huge difference.
Well, and also, when you look at the goals against average of these three goaltenders, it's the goals against average is a reflection of an entire team. It's not just the goaltenders as well. Goaltenders win and lose with their teammates around them, but you do need to have goaltenders occasionally steal a game or make some incredibly game-saving or game-changing saves. We saw Anthony Shuro last week against Central Oklahoma do that in a 1-0 victory that completely changed the season. There's a shot that goes off the post. Oh! Casper was completely beat on that, but it went off the post and out. There's another one that bounces in, but that was a great shot by Kevin Burden. He beat Casper. That's one of those that if that's a couple inches one other way, it just goes right in the net. We remain 9-0 Arizona over Utah. 11:45 to go in the game. There's a big shot from the point in on Casper, and he makes the save.
Arizona's just walking around and setting up chances now, Tim. Utah is not as energetic in their defensive coverage as they were. They're chasing the puck right now, and you can't catch up to the puck. Arizona just keeps moving it away from them. They're breaking down in the zone, and I hate to say it, but it's going to get worse.
Before it gets better, you mean?
Yeah, I don't know that it's getting better. It's just going to get worse. We have 11:36 and counting to go in this game.
Well, it does appear that Utah has run out of gas here, and Arizona trying to work on their game. This goes down low to Manny Rowe, and he sends it in through a bunch of guys, and the whistle goes. Manny Rowe was behind the net with the puck, but the whistle went. I think that's trying to help out Casper a little bit there. I was mentioning while you were heading down to ice level at the end of the second, it can be difficult for officials when you have a goaltender when you're not sure if he actually has the puck or not. Because, they blow the whistle when they don't see the puck anymore. There's been so many times when the Utah goaltender has had the puck, but then it's on the ice. They've had the puck, but it's next to them. And then you blow the whistle because they've lost sight of the puck. It's difficult to know when to blow the whistle when you have goaltenders who are unsure handling the puck.
Utah is finally going to be shorthanded with a cross-checking call here, Tim, and this is a frustration penalty.
Yeah, they were trying to clear out guys in front of Casper rather than just let them kind of hang around.
Hauser in for the cross-check here. So I'll tell you what. So, again, we talk about not losing your focus and not taking your foot off the gas. This is important. This is the only chance UofA is going to have to work on the power play today, quite possibly.
Yes. Up 9-0, but you have to think about how do we work this power play, not look at the scoreboard.
Because you just can't replace game situations in practice. I know, you can work on your power play, You know what? You need to practice it in a game situation. You need to play it at speed and go through your setup and put your top unit out there and let them work.
Yeah. Well, like you said, this is as Chris Westland comes in over the line, sends a cross ice with speed. That's a tough pass for Anthony Cusinelli to corral, and it goes down low back to Westland. Westland's going to get it over to Bailey Marshall on the near side. Back out to the point. Cross ice to Cusinelli. He's got to shoot that puck. Oh, and he shot it wide. Oh, that is the workshop for Anthony Cusinelli right there. Sent the puck wide. Arizona retains possession. Back to Ben Jones. Kind of telegraphed where that puck was going. Cat's lucky to get it back. Bailey Marshall on the near side. Over to the slot near Jones, and that's going to get poked out and down the ice. 55 seconds to go on the man advantage for Arizona. Bailey Marshall in over the line. Goes off the stick of Max Meyer. Arizona retains possession. Manny Rowe, right on the blue line. He keeps it in. Cross ice to Bailey Marshall. Oh, he's looking for the back door. That backdoor tip went behind the goaltender, but not into the net, through the crease. That was, I don't know if you tried to tip that puck behind the goaltender, but not in the net, if you could do that again.
Tim, that went through the back door, through the kitchen, the living room, and out the front door, and ended up somewhere in the street.
Again, if you've been a player, go ahead and get the open back door and tip it behind the goaltender completely across the crease. I don't know if you could do it. That's incredibly difficult. We stayed 9-0. Down to the last 5 seconds of the man advantage for Arizona. Utah has killed it off. And now down to the last 9 minutes of the third period. I think it's safe to say that the winner of this game has been decided. Now it's just how do either team or both teams, how do they finish?
Well, right now, Arizona still got their foot on the gas, and that's a good sign. We talked about the killer instinct, Tim, in the pregame, and I like what I'm seeing right now from the Wildcats.
As you said, you can't really replicate game condition, and Arizona has to be at their best next weekend for 3 games against the Colorado schools. Thursday night, 7:30 here at the Tucson Arena against Colorado State. Big WCHL showdown. Arizona in first place. They have 5 league games. They win them all. Guess what? They've won their first WCHL championship. But you can't win 5 games at once. It's 1 game at a time. Starts next Thursday. There's a great setup for Arizona. And I have no idea why the Ute went after the Arizona player after taking that shot there.
That was Totfest that went in there after him in the glass. And again, that's just, he didn't do anything. He wasn't near the goaltender. He didn't take a swing at anybody. But, you know, Totfest wanted to go over there and make an impression. And, well, he's going to make an impression on the seat in the penalty box because that's where he's going to be sitting for 2 minutes.
Yeah, you see, you know, as you said, with 8:07 to go in this game, the referee probably is not going to call anything unless he absolutely has to against Utah. And the Toutfest there, maybe something happened before that play started between those 2 players. But there was nothing at the end of the play to kind of motivate Toutfest to take that penalty. But Arizona will go back in the power play.
Austin Toutfest, 2 minutes for roughing. Time of that penalty, 11 minutes, 53 seconds. In the 3rd period, and gives your Wildcats a Hogan Transportation power play.
Now, Tom, as you know, I compile what I call my best player name list. And Austin, you know, for interesting names, Austin Toutfest makes my team. As Bailey Marshall comes in,
that's a pretty good
takes
one.
It, Austin Toutfest. I just like the name. It's a good name. You look up at it, Liebernite too. Tristan,
Liebernite's a good one.
Tristan Liebernite. These are very interesting names. They make my all-name team. Darcy Wakaluk, by the way, is the captain of my all-name team of all time. Darcy Wakaluk, former goaltender. Arizona continues on the power play. A little bit more than a minute to go on the power play. 7 minutes to go in the game. Ben Jones at the blue line with the puck. Leads it down to Marshall.
There's your backdoor goal.
I was going to say, that puck is in the net, isn't it?
It did not go across the goal line this time.
And this time, Max Meyer, I believe, just taps that in. Bailey Marshall with a laser kind of backdoor pass to the far side post. And Max Meyer just taps it in. Boy, he is right. He's actually behind the goal line there with his stick just in front of him. That's as backdoor as you can get. And Arizona makes it an even 10-0 over the Utah Utes with 7:04 to go in the 3rd.
Got it. And that's why getting your stick in the lane and taking away those passing lanes is so important, Tim. There's so very little a goalie can do to stop that kind of chance.
You know, I guess practice that if it's open to you in a game, but against better teams, you're just not going to be able to send that puck that far through traffic to the back door like that. That's my only caveat about that. It was open here and you executed the play and said goal.
So Wildcat goal, give it to number 27, Max Meyer. The assist goes to number 11, Bailey Marshall, and number 17, Ben Jones. That's Meyer from Marshall and Jones. Time of your Wildcat power play goal, 12 minutes, 56 seconds in the 3rd period.
He shoots, he scores. Arizona now up 10-0 over Utah. They were 10-1 winners last night against this same Utah team.
And Tim, now they got to finish this out for Bivelsick here. 6:29 left to go in the 3rd. They got to finish the game.
I was not going to mention.
I didn't say anything.
Nolan Bivelsick. You know, the hockey gods know. I didn't say the word that starts with an S and ends with an out last night, and I still brought the curse of the hockey gods on Anthony Shuro. It was 10-0 at the time I started to talk about it, and ended up 10-1.
See,
you're saying the hockey gods don't know. You're saying
I know you though. I know your phraseology and
Yes.
your way with words.
Yes. That I substituted the word. Is what you're saying. Yeah, well, what you think the hockey gods don't know what you were just referring to? Arizona has a 10-0 lead. Nolan Bivell sick, the goaltender for Arizona, finishing out for him. What do you think that the hockey gods think that means? So the puck comes in on Bivell sick and he makes a save.
I think they think it means that Arizona needs to play 6 more minutes of hockey.
They know what it means. It means the same thing that my curse that I brought on Anthony Churro yesterday means. Let's see if your curse is as good as my curse. I don't think it is. Mine has been executed so many times now. I've broken up so many of those situations where a goaltender needs his team to
You know, it never seems to work in reverse, though, does it? It never seems to work in reverse.
What, you mean when we need a goal?
Yeah, when you need something against the opposing team. It never works that way.
Doesn't work that way. Well, there's a shot off the post there from Keelan Ulnick. Boy, he just walked right in. Puck's on the back of the net now, bounces off. 5 minutes to go in the game. Back to Manny Rowe at the point. Boy, it looks like a power play, but we're even-handed here. The puck pinballs around in the crease now behind the net. Utah's just playing tired here, I think. Their entire bench is standing up, though. They want to fight for their teammates. The puck comes right in, point-blank shot on Casper, and it stays in. Interesting, that Utah bench is standing up. They want their teammates to fight.
Tim, you know, the other interesting thing right there, though, I mean, yeah, Utah's there, and they're trying to keep the energy going. Great stop. But 3 guys for Arizona had all 5 Utes tied up down low. The defenders were just hanging out at the point.
Yeah, and when I say that they want their teammates to fight, I meant fight on the ice for their teammates, work hard for their teammates. No, I didn't mean literally start a fight with Arizona. You know, it's the last 5 minutes of this game, and I think you get the idea. The coaching staff for Utah said, okay, it's the last 5 minutes of the game. Whatever that score is, we want to see you guys work hard for your teammates.
Show me something.
And that's what they're doing right now. I think perhaps in response to Tom Callahan asking for Arizona to close this game out for their goaltender, and then acting like he doesn't know what that means. Because the curse is all my fault, because I do acknowledge that exactly what it is that I've been saying. And this is all, you know, again, I mean, I felt so bad for Anthony Churro yesterday. He gave up 1 goal, but I apologize to his family for invoking the goaltender's curse.
I will tell you this.
And at the end of the game, we'll explain this to you if you're actually listening and have no idea what we're talking about. But the score is 10-0 right now. Arizona ahead of Utah, 3:42 to go in the game.
And I've decided over the years, Tim, I've been doing this 20 years now, I finally decided I in no way, surprisingly, in no way affect the outcome of a hockey game.
Well, I do. I curse goaltenders on a regular basis.
Well, here's another U of A power play.
16 minutes, 18 seconds in the third period. Gives your Wildcats a Hogan Transportation power play.
Well, Tom, you're absolutely right. Of course, we're just having good fun here. It's the players who determine the outcome, and there's a nice save there by Patrick Casper. The point is that as fans, we feel bad if a goaltender's close to an accomplishment, and then at the last moment, it doesn't happen. Of course, the Utah Utes are trying as hard as they can to get on that scoreboard. So we don't mean to make light of how hard Utah is working to get on that scoreboard. We just know what, and especially Tom, as a goaltender himself, knows what an accomplishment it is to play a game as well as Bivell second. Oh, that puck is in the net. That puck is in the net. That was behind the net.
No, I don't think it was.
They're saying no goal.
I don't think that crossed the line, Tim. Although now we're going to have a comeuppance in front of the net.
They're saying no goal, but I thought I saw that puck.
I think one of the Ute defensemen saved that puck from going over the line. It was close, but I don't think it went in.
Well, in any case, the official motioned no goal. It remains Arizona 10, Utah nothing. 3:11 left to go in. Well, I was going to say regulation. I think it's safe to say in the game.
Well, and Tim, between the goalie and the defender, I didn't see who that was, but the 2 Utes combined to keep that puck out of the net.
Well,
that was big.
And that's a good sign for the Utah Utes that could have been, just another goal. They fought to keep that puck out of the net and were successful. 3 minutes to go in the game now. Arizona's still on the power play for another 18. And you know, if one team or the other has a power play here, this should really diffuse some of the situations you would think if they were going to get a little testy at the end of the game here. Utah comes away with the puck. They're able to get it out to center ice, and Cam Armstrong's going to pick it up there. 2:45 to go in the game. Ben Fury with the puck, sends it back to Cam Armstrong.
And I know for Arizona, Tim, the temptation is still there to try to make the big hit, to do something aggressive. But you know what? I would just tell the guys, hey, 2.5 left here. Let's just play smart. Do not get yourself in trouble. As you mentioned, they've got some big games coming up this week. You cannot afford to miss games because you wanted to deliver a big hit. Things got a little out of hand. Next thing you know, you find yourself tossed out.
Well, either that or injury. Arizona cannot afford any more injury as well. They just want to finish this game up. Artizoni with a hat trick here gets the puck into the slot and into the crease. Arizona retains possession. 22 seconds to go on the power play. 2 minutes to go in the game, and Tom Callahan's going to head on down to center ice now to do our post-game interviews with the player of the game and head coach Chad Berman, and then he'll send it back up to me, and I'll do a post-game report here in the press box. Down to the last 1:45 to go in the game. Hull with the puck behind the Arizona net. Comes away with it. The power play is over. Vale Artizoni over the line, tries to feather it through to Kevin Bird. Bird has it. Almost had a goal here tonight. That's a shot and a goal by Cully Olson. What a setup and a one-timer by Cully Olson. Arizona 11, Utah nothing. Cully Olson, wow. Of course, brother of Orion Olson, the former fabulous captain of the Arizona Wildcats. He had a one-timer set up for him. He made no mistake about that. Arizona scores. That puck is buried so deep they're going to have to dig it out of the TCC ice. Beautiful goal by Cully Olson.
Arizona Wildcat goal, give it to number 14, Cully Olson. The assist goes number 7, Kevin Bird. That's Olson from Bird. Time of your Wildcat goal, 18 minutes, 37 seconds in the third period.
He shoots, he scores. Cully Olson with the goal. You know, we're looking for that secondary scoring. We sure as heck have it yesterday and today. Final minute of play now for the Arizona Wildcats and the Utah Utes. Stick around because we'll have the player of the game and Coach Olson at center ice, and then I'll have a post-game wrap-up here. That's in about 38 seconds of game time. And then I can talk about the mysterious thing in the word that we would not mention here in this third period if it isn't obvious or hasn't become obvious. It's all in good fun, of course. As Tom says, he has made me admit that we don't actually affect the play by whatever it is that we say up here. 15 seconds to go in the game, and oh, there's a Utah player who took a swing at Ben Fury. Fury asks him if he wants to go, and Noah Berry says no and goes off to the bench. Smart play by everybody. 2-1, that's going to do it. The word is shutout. The word is shutout. Nolan Bivelsick with a shutout wins 11-0.
Utah with 2, Arizona with 19 for the game. The Utes with 15 shots on goal. Arizona with 57 shots on goal. The final score here at the Tucson.
Arizona with 57 shots on goal. Utah with 15 for the game. It was 11-0, and it was a shutout. The shutout is what I didn't want to give the curse to Nolan Bivelsick. I gave it to Anthony Shiro yesterday by mentioning with a couple minutes to go that he had not given up a goal yet. I didn't say shutout, but the hockey gods know better than that. You don't talk about a shutout when it's getting close to it for a goaltender. And even though Tom did that obliquely here today, Nolan Bivelsick gets the shutout. Arizona wins 11-0. As soon as the handshakes are done, we'll have our post-game interviews, and then I'll have a little wrap-up here in the press box. Arizona 11-0 winners over Utah. So we'll be back in just a moment with more Arizona hockey.
are down here at ice level, and Vail Artesoni's got the hat trick here joining us. And Vail, again, congratulations on the hat trick. Just talk to us about what that means for you to get that.
It means a lot. Being a rookie and scoring 3 goals is a good feeling.
You know, you and I talked at the intermission, and you said, hey, took a bad penalty. Did that motivate you to come back and give a little bit extra?
Yeah, definitely. Bad penalty is never a good way to start the game in the first period.
Let's talk a little bit about just being able to close this game out and coming back. It was a big win last night, but you wanted to finish it off today. What was important for you guys to finish this game off?
I mean, we're looking for top 5, so hopefully this pushes us there.
Vail, thanks for joining us. Congrats again.
Thank you.
All right. Vail Artesoni, everybody. And Coach Chad Berman joining us. Coach, I got to ask you, talk about that. The freshman picks up the hat trick for you today. A lot of guys on the score sheet, but it's got to be extra special to see a guy pick up his first hat trick.
Yeah, I mean, Val's been on a roll for months now. He was, I don't even know if I should say this, he was the last guy we took on our roster, and then he got an opportunity. It's a good example about being patient, putting in the work so that when you get your opportunity, you keep it. He got an opportunity about a month and a half into the season, and he hasn't let it go. He's been in the lineup since, so happy to see a kid like that get rewarded. He certainly earned it.
You guys are climbing slow but steadily up, and you know, yesterday was a big 10-1 win. Coming out here today, what did you say to the team, trying to get them ready and keep that focus?
Well, I think the next step for us is being consistent. So we talked about being pros and coming back. With the ranking system, goal margin matters. So, you know, Ohio got swept this weekend, the team at 5, so we think we got a good shot here at moving up to the top 5, and nothing more would be, boy, that'd be a great thing to do for our fan base.
Well, and you got a couple of big games coming up at home here starting Thursday night. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 5 games left here with a chance to win the first ever WCHL conference here, and Colorado State's coming off a big win against UNLV. Colorado has 15 freshmen, and they're just now kind of starting to figure it out, and they had a big sweep against Mo State last weekend, so these are going to be battles, but, you know, obviously a lot for us to play for, so we're excited.
Coach Berman, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, come on out and join us on Thursday. Colorado State, come out and root your Wildcats on to the win. Now back upstairs to Tim Gasson.
Thank you, Tom. So the Arizona Wildcats take care of business against the Utah Utes last night, tonight. Last night 10-1, tonight 11-0 over the Utah Utes. I got to make sure I got that right. Yes, 11-0 over the Utah Utes. Arizona had goals, hat trick from freshman Vail Artesoni. Congratulations. So difficult to get a hat trick in college hockey. Vail Artesoni with 3 goals here tonight. Cam Armstrong, Bailey Marshall, Chris Westland, Cully Olson, Justin Plumoff, Justin Dungy, Max Meyer, and Joey Trapp all had goals for Arizona. We were wondering after last night's game, would Arizona have another commanding kind of performance where they would dominate, prove they were the better team? Well, they just led 1-0 after 1 period, but then proved they were the better team. They need to get better. Tough competition coming. They're in the first place in the Western Collegiate Hockey League, but they have big games coming up here this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday against the Colorado schools. They want to retain that lead in the WCHL. So we want to see you here Thursday night, 7:30 p.m. Our broadcast will start 10 minutes earlier than that. And then 2 1 p.m. games here at the Tucson Arena, Friday and Saturday against Colorado. So we hope to see Wildcat fans here at the Tucson Arena for those games. If you can't make it, remember to watch our YouTube broadcast. So the number 6 Wildcats improved to 23-6 on the season. The Utes fall to 9-12. It looks like they're out of the picture for the national tournament. Arizona looking to improve their ranking and their standing in the ACHA, getting ready for that national tournament. So that'll do it here from the Tucson Arena. For Tom Callahan and everyone at Arizona Hockey Media, I'm Timothy Gasson. Thank you for watching, and bear down, you have been watching University of Arizona Wildcat Hockey.
Thank you for watching University of Arizona Wildcats Hockey. Visit our website at ArizonaWildcatHockey.org, and we'll see you at the Tucson Arena for the next Arizona Wildcats home game.